Witness!
What?
Witness me!
Witness! Yeah.
This is a podcast that will
don't
be
spray paint your teeth, quick, stop.
heard throughout the halls of Valhalla,
I will-
all shiny and chrome.
I'll carry you to the steps of Valhalla myself.
So who here didn't see Mad Max? Show of hands.
All right.
Oh, everyone's
go.
fine, finally.
Yeah.
Damn.
Immortal Joe is the coolest.
I thought so. Immortan,
Immortan.
for whatever reason. I don't know.
Can we, okay, we've got to put it out there. It's a very hard movie to spoil.
There's nothing that
There's
happens
nothing
in
to
the
talk about.
Guess what?
But we're not
A
going
bunch
to
of
get
women do a U-turn.
Yeah.
That's the plot.
There's
No,
nothing
seriously,
to
the plot of this movie is it's a 2-hour-long car chase.
Yeah. There's very
Awesome.
little... And not in the same way as Death Proof, but in, like, an awesome way.
I bet sometimes
That wasn't a chase.
Sometimes they stop and like hang out and talk for 5 minutes, and then they get back in their cars
Get
and
back
have,
into the
have an
cars,
even
you
bigger car
fuckers.
chase.
But it's really big, just two big action scenes.
With no scenes about Dave B. Dozy, Bleaky, Mitch, and Titch.
yeah.
I'm very,
Yeah.
I'm very excited because you remember last week I was kind of like, watch it. It's pretty good.
But now you've seen it 5 times.
I've seen it 3 times now. I said it
Yeah.
I'm gonna
two
go
more
see it
times.
again.
Yeah.
No,
It's-
That's what I like to
stunning.
hear.
No, you put the fingers up, hashtag game changer.
It's,
Absolutely. Because it's just a fucking good movie.
Man, there is no
Mostly
on this movie.
Right? There's like 2 shots I can think of that are like blatantly CG, and
Yeah.
then the rest are just like
So,
But
practical
they're CG
effects.
because that guy would have died.
Yeah,
Right.
I did a little bit of like digging around, and it's like no, almost all that's practical, and no one died.
I remember
yeah,
Matt showed me, when they have the guys swinging around
The
on
pole
top of
cats.
the cars?
Exactly.
Apparently they wanted to CG that, but then they found a way to do it. And then they
Oh, yeah.
Like the director George Miller was just like, man, that's too dangerous. And
That's super
the guy's
dangerous.
running up until the last minute before he's about to call a CG company. He's
Yeah.
like, no, we figured it out.
put me up there. I can do it.
In the theater.
Cirque du Soleil guys.
Like
actually.
CG's place in a
Serious,
movie like
yeah.
this is to remove the safety ropes.
Yeah, that's
from
all you
the
gotta
actors.
do. That's all you gotta do.
In the theater, like my girlfriend and I just, as soon as like the fucking guitarist shows up, I just started a mosh. We started our own mosh pit. We just started fucking banging right in our seats.
I read about that guy. That guy's like an Australian guitarist, playwright, whatever.
course he is.
And he goes, it's the shittiest guitar I ever used, but it did play and it did shoot flames. But it's the shittiest guitar
Well, of course,
ever.
it's the wasteland.
And that whole concept, which, like,
You
a lot of
have
people,
your own score.
a lot of
behind
people
you.
might get it, but a lot of people might not. He's the little drummer boy.
Yeah.
That when orders come through his guitar, because he just sounds like
Well,
noise
that's
in a
it.
movie.
Because back in the day, you'd have
No, he's
like,
the hype man.
Back in the day, you'd have your
That's
banner
what the
man,
little drummer boy is.
Yeah, the army
you'd
hype
have your
man.
banner man, your drummer boy, and your
Yeah.
fucking,
Trumpeter.
your trumpeter.
If you saw my Twitter, I bought the Mad Max art book. Right, so they'll tell you something about the guitar guy. He has a thing on his face, and then
Yeah.
when Max starts fighting him, the thing flies off, and he just doesn't have eyes. Like they're just not there.
Yeah.
He's like super blind that way. So Pat will appreciate this especially. His face, the little mask that he has, is his mother's dead face.
Nice.
Much like Lisa Trevor.
That's correct.
And he's angry at the world and wears his mother's face because the world took his mother away and taught him music.
Wow, that's a little bit
As the
now.
last person in the world that knew about music.
oh my god.
The doof
That's pretty
warrior.
Oh my god.
Marin, who's done lots of art for us, loves the doof warrior. She's posting shit about him all fucking
That's
week.
his name?
The doof warrior.
Okay.
I like
So
how he has a
fucking
name.
cool.
That's awesome.
Everyone has a name.
Everyone has this
Yeah.
awesome name. And when
The
you watch the
organic
credits,
mechanic.
Yeah.
the organic, the bullet farmer, we know.
Yeah.
Jeez, there's so much. There's
I got this
Fucking
this,
anti-seeds. Oh,
I got
Yeah.
this huge like feeling watching it. That is, I don't know how to describe it. In which I've seen Hokuto no Ken. I've seen Fallout and all that stuff, and those all come from Mad Max.
Yes.
But I've never seen Mad
The
Max.
source.
so
And now we get to see Mad Max pull all sorts of shit from all of the things that came from Mad Max.
But also still be the originator.
Like the
and be what everyone is saying is a much better movie than the
like the
originals.
shot of the
Yeah,
water
that's
is
the
like
best one.
identical to that new
I'll
Fist
go
of
into that.
the North Star movie that came out.
Right,
recently.
right.
It's exactly the same. It's so
because
good.
Kenshiro's shoulder pad is literally just Mad Max's shoulder pad.
Yeah, basically.
And so like again, without getting into specifics, fucking literally his shoulder pads.
I feel like this is the easiest movie we'll ever have to talk about without getting into specifics.
Yeah, well, no, I just like you obviously have like the main group of characters, and there's that unexpected character in that main group of people.
I assume you mean Knox.
That was just like without like I was just like, wow, I can't believe the camera kept following this path.
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa,
all right, okay. Okay.
So fucking everybody, if you have
even before that, the cast expands, and you're like, oh, there's all these people too.
And just like you have a post-apocalyptic world, and it's like here you got people taking the time to put fucking warts on everyone in the background and everything.
Boy, there are a lot of warts.
And then
level of detail.
Liam said this to me. He's like, wow, everyone that had a deformity sure got paid that day.
Yeah,
because anyone that had some sort of deformity.
The casting call for this movie's like, we need people with body deformities.
And you push it forward to the point where like, and everyone's like used to this type of thing. So fucking little smiley faces on that one point.
Exactly.
Just it's like this is world building. This is fucking world building.
My favorite bit about the world building didn't hit me until like a couple hours after I'd seen the movie. There's a point in the film in which it is described they are going to drive for 160 days in one direction across the salt.
The salt.
And I thought that was really weird and didn't hit me until a little while after the movie. Dude, that used to be the ocean.
Yeah.
Damn.
All that's left is salt.
Dude, the world is so fucked.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't pick that?
Well, because I'm thinking, where on earth could you drive for 160 days in one direction and not on land?
Yeah.
And the answer is nowhere.
No, see,
the only place you could ever do that is across the Pacific Ocean off the east coast of Australia.
In the originals, it was just like everyone has an Australian accent, but in this, there's more an eclectic mix of accents and people, so it's unclear where it actually kind of is. You still assume Australia because, the more people speak an Australian accent. Like
there was a British guy that happened to be in Australia.
But the thing is, on the walk home, I was trying to think through like plot hole type things, and nothing really came to mind because it was just cut really tight.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like Furiosa doesn't have the same accent as everyone else because she comes from somewhere else.
Sure.
And it's like, what the fuck was that stilt shit that was happening? And it's like,
so awesome.
Poison.
It's a different culture.
People avoid, it's like, oh my god, everything that's like, what was that? No, that makes sense. Think about it for a minute.
Yeah.
It adds up.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend you guys get the art book, because guess what? This movie was being made in 1997. Concept art goes back. Fury Road, 1997. That's when they started.
Really?
And then it failed. Like, the production just failed. And they just stopped it, shut everything down, and went back again years and years later. So in 1997, they were building this world, and I'm like, the storyboards are the same.
The original pitch for this was a two-parter.
Yeah.
And the second part's supposed to be a Furiosa movie.
That never happens where something is in the works for this long and it ends up being good.
It's not just good.
Like when something is when something is in development hell for like a decade, it almost universally turns out terrible.
The Last Guardian is going to be super good, you guys. It's going to be super good.
But
we gotta be real, man.
We digress.
Yeah. We digress because...
What a good-ass movie.
Welcome to the new episode of the Friendcast. It all began in 94.
It all began in 94?
Kept on going 95.
I don't know the 96.
I don't know the 97
something 96.
Something 96. I'm sure that's what it is.
But it's like it all started in 94 is so much better than the other lines. So who cares?
Yeah.
When are we going to get a Street Fighter game or a new KOF that has some kind of intro like that?
Never.
A legacy intro.
Yeah.
I agree.
Never.
I agree.
Think so.
Come on.
Maybe a Dream Match game, but
Come on.
I don't think Dream Match game.
Well, Mark of the Wolves has a pseudo quick one with the screenshots, But yeah, no, the legacy feels good. It feels good. And either way, we're blowing our wads because that means this episode has forced Team Italia versus Team France with characters that are not from these places, but we're just arbitrarily associating countries because we think that's.
We need to fill out the roster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What?
Since we're...
Did you ever play KOF 94?
I did.
All the teams are you can't interchange them. You're set to 3.
Yeah.
Dude,
and B, like you have random countries associated with random people in the KOF world.
It's not super random. It's like Andy's stage in Fatal Fury was Italy, so for whatever reason in '94 that was Team Italy.
Everyone becomes Team
Even
Italy.
though everyone was either American or like
but it's
from
like
Thailand.
if Pat was from Serbia.
The country,
the
country thing I'm not into, but the forced teams I'm way into.
But they were all way similar as well.
So
Ralph and Clark were almost identical.
Yeah, I guess.
But
I'm weird because I usually play teams in KOF. I love K-Team.
But it's like, do you want Robert, Rio, and Takuma, like, identical moveset almost?
No, not identical. I want them to be
that makes sense for a team.
The difference is...
I want their current varied versions, but I want you to have to play them as a team. Like, you want to play as Kyo, the hero, you learn learn Daimon.
And
Benimaru. Play these two weirdos if you want to play Ryu.
Like Team Japan was just Kyo, Goro, and Benimaru.
Yes.
Yeah. That was it. That was just like because they're all from Japan.
Yeah, and
that makes sense.
And it had the you're about to die super desperation move system.
Yeah, you're about to die.
You know that they kept up for a bit, but
Kyo just goes witness me.
Oh my god, dude! I fucking...
Well, you haven't been here, but like, because you were in Toronto most of the weekend. But the videos me and Pat and
are all
Liam
just
have gone.
laced with Mad Max. I know.
Witness me.
I feel it. I can feel that. I can, of course. But it's one of the few things where it's like, okay, look, how much are people going to overhype this fucking movie? And then after you guys, and then everything on my Facebook is just like, hey, look, it's Mario Kart Fury Road. Hey, look, it's...
The Unbreakable Furiosa.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, everything is just flooding, and it's like, alright, this hasn't happened since Avengers 1.
Let me see this movie.
I have to get ahead of it.
This movie kicks
guess what? It's better than
Avengers 1.
And then you sit down and you go, my hype is through... My expectations are now through the roof. Show me something.
I know Liam did.
And you walk out going, I can't believe it actually showed me something.
I know Liam did, but did you see it with the D-Box seats?
So I bought the seats.
Yeah!
And then I went in and I sat on them, and then and then someone else came and was like, I have tickets for these seats. And we're like, wait, what? And there was a whole big confusion and mix-up.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, and the whole thing, and it was totally my fuck-up. I got 2 seats, but I got them actually for the wrong day. But they let us in anyway.
Oh,
so
like
we
the
just
tickets still scan.
Yeah. So we just went to normal seats, unfortunately. But they were right behind the D-Box seats, so I felt the rumble and all that shit going.
Because you can't feel it exactly, and neither me nor Matt had tried it before. But they have to be hiring a designer for every movie.
Yeah, they do.
Because have you used it before?
No, but I did the demo in the lobby.
Yeah, because it's not just. I thought it was just a Rumble pack.
No, there was.
I thought they just had the jump pack, like 40 Dreamcast
right up your ass.
There was 6 months ago to a year on the Bombcast, one of their emails was from a guy that does this for a living.
Okay,
that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's like you sit in the chair and you fucking watch the movie over and over, and you fucking tweak those settings and make it go.
It's because it's basically like you guys are saying like some movies it makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and say car movies.
Yeah. And
if it's not a car movie, then fuck it.
Because a rumbling chair makes sense in a car.
You're sitting in one.
But I mean, like, it might make sense for like Pacific Rim 2 as well, when like stuff is like
I didn't do that.
Okay,
you know.
But
piloting / driving vehicles.
But Wooly, for camera pans, when the pans left the right, your chair suddenly moves.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool because it's not obtrusive.
It feels
and
good.
the thing, you can set it to just none.
I don't know. I have not done the D-Box thing yet. I'll have to do it eventually, but I am ideologically opposed to D-Box. Because the last thing that I want to be aware of in a theater when I'm watching a movie is that I have a body.
Right.
Right, but I saw Mad Max twice with D-Box and once without. I greatly preferred it with.
Oh, I'll give it a shot, but like you can see where
because it makes me.
I was skeptical.
The Honey I Shrunk the Kids ride at Disney, where they blow like water at you and like have the little rat feeling behind your ankles as the rats are running into the thing. It's something where like you get into it, but you feel like you're on a ride. Yeah. You never really get immersed.
Like when I watch like a movie or play a particular kind of game, I like to sublimate. I like to just completely just
drown. You are the camera.
I want to not exist.
Yeah, you were the camera, absolutely.
I felt it really added to the experience, and for certain movies, if I think about
what about the Notebook?
Like
it was Takahata
about Notebook,
right?
I might not go see Notebook with the D-Box if that was even in theaters. Terminator Genesis, I might think about it. Jurassic Park, I might think about it. Outside of that, I don't know.
We have to go
else.
see Genesis, don't we?
We have to.
You don't want to?
Dude, I
have to.
I want to, but I'm like ashamed that I want to.
Oh,
but
you should just want to.
We've all talked about it. We'll save it for later.
Like, unless they confirm, like, a fucking extra that looks like McG gets wrecked and ripped open by a T-1000 or whatever, then I don't.
We're up to T-980s now.
I'm going into Terminator Genesis positive because I'm like, it can't be worse than Salvation.
You're wrong!
No, it simply can't.
That's not true.
You also got a TV show to ride on.
Yeah, I haven't watched the second season yet.
And a video game.
Since we're still talking about Mad Max, like I said, I saw Mad Max twice more, and then after the second time, I sat down and watched Road Warrior Mad Max 2.
Okay.
Because I watched the first Mad Max. You know what, first Mad Max? Pretty
hella boring.
It's a little like pedestrian. It's a little, nothing really crazy happens, and it feels like the world is still the world.
All right.
Yeah.
Right?
Number 2 is Lord Humongous, right?
Number 2 is Lord Humongous.
Yeah.
Number 2 is
with the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, which I didn't know
Chris
that Chris Jericho stole that line. I had never watched Mad Max 2 as a kid. I did watch Beyond Thunderdome, because when I watched Beyond Thunderdome, I was like, I totally remember Tina Turner being like the main boss. And the other thing about Fury Road is a lot of people complain Mad Max wasn't really in it. He wasn't really the main character. Well, welcome to the Mad Max universe. Because second and third
barring the first movie, he's not really.
Well, I had to,
the main character.
and I had to explain this actually to my girlfriend while we were walking out. I was like, that thing you're confused about with the whole it's about him, but it's not about him at all, is anime.
He's a thread.
He's the Avatar.
Right? It's the show about the character that goes around helping everyone else, and he gets 1 or 2 episodes about himself.
Now that being said, that concept is taken to its ludicrous extreme, and I'm going to be very careful to talk around this. Mm. We always love to say we prefer things to be shown to us as the viewer and not told.
Yeah.
This movie has the best example of telling the viewer something and not showing them I have ever seen. In that moment, in when Max walks away from the truck.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That is the greatest version of that I've ever seen. And it reminds me of that fucking moment in Naruto that you would go on and on about.
Which one?
Where they're having, it flashes back to some big ninja war. And the fourth Hokage goes, everybody, just throw your shuriken east or whatever and on my signal, and they do it, and Wooly goes, well, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, and then literally the character next to him goes, is he gonna do something? And he goes, he sure is. Don't blink. And you turn the page, and it's gone! And it's fucking gone!
You know what? You don't get it? Like you don't get to see it?
No,
nothing.
That's the point, man.
And
that's cool.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And like that was either pre or early Shippuden type of thing. So it was just like, and you won't know for years.
Right.
Or ever, possibly.
Or ever.
I wouldn't. Yeah. I don't fucking know.
But
Guts is on a boat.
But like I said, like both Mad Max 2 and Beyond Thunderdome, Mad Max watches a bunch of things, and way more people have way more lines than him. Mm-hmm. And Beyond Thunderdome is actually, if I could describe it, it's like Temple of Doom.
Oh no!
Where it's a little silly. Mm-hmm. There's some kids in it that kind of go, it makes it a little. It's like Return of the Jedi.
I was about to say though, it's another one of those series though that's clearly it's about the legacy and the fact that like you invented a world and a genre, and that impact carries out a louder like. You feel that harder back in the day than you do the quality of the movie or the lines or the memorable parts. It's like, this fucking world, though.
Yes.
You know?
Aliens is a fantastic movie to this day.
Yep.
But now you've seen everything in the universe just steal from aliens all over,
all the time,
like down to exact voice clips being used in like
James
Resident
Cameron
Evil games.
James Cameron made that big post going, "Halo wouldn't exist if I hadn't made Aliens."
You compare that, and it's Evangelion does the same thing with a lot of anime stuff, in which you show these things in Mad Max to people that I've grown up in the modern era, and they go, "Oh, so that's where that came from."
Yeah,
but that's not the same as going, "Oh, what is this completely mind-blowing new thing?"
So Alien and Aliens, I definitely can say you show them to people that are watching it now, and it's a lot weaker in terms of like.
But you do.
Oh yeah, spaceship. Okay, got it.
I think Casablanca is the number one. Because that thing is unwatchable now. It's not unwatchable, but it's the origin of everything.
No, I fucking love that movie still. No, I had a great time watching it. I thought it was very good.
How old were you when you saw it?
I was, 25?
I'm surprised.
Were you forced to watch it at school, or did you watch it by
I saw it recently.
I watched it like 4 or 5 years ago.
No, I saw it recently, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so plotting and like."
Well, that's because you're a child, Liam.
Yeah, I know. But,
no,
the movies,
I totally.
The movies in that age were plotting. Like that's all they knew.
I remember watching Bridge on the River Kwai when I was like 13, and I loved it.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was getting at when like I got a lot of shit for it too. But I was talking about Taxi Driver, how like it's a very good movie, but it takes so long to get where it goes, and we're just conditioned to being so fucking.
But back then,
movies used
like
to be so much slower. Go watch a fucking World War II movie. Even your average one is like 2.5 hours long.
Marketing didn't exist.
Has like 25-minute long scenes of Nazis talking in offices,
and it's not even like, oh, these are the new kids directing these movies that are making it like that. It's like we went from watching Taxi Driver to fucking Wolf of Wall Street. Literally the same guy, just changing his style and making things bam, bam, bam. You know, so it's just like it's hard. But when you guys were warning me about playing RE4 after I played Gears of War first,
oh, it's weird. I can't even imagine that.
Right? But you know what? In the end, it still stood out. It still was fine.
Because RE4 is a better game than Gears of War.
And that's it. And so you have to have faith that the material that you're looking at is just fucking good on its own, and the dating won't be as bad because people can recognize quality.
Yeah.
Just finishing off the Mad Max stuff is like I said before, this movie is being made in 1997, right? So there's probably way more backstory than even the movie shows, and that's why, because DC's putting out a Mad Max comic that is prequel backstory to many of the characters. So I tried to go to every comic book store like in Montreal today. No one had it, sold out. But the first issue is Immortan Joe and Nux. Their backstory leading up to the movie. The second issue is all about Furiosa.
Yeah, dude, but it's DC. We're not allowed to like it.
No, we are allowed to like it because it's good.
No, save that for my week.
And then the last issue is all about Mad Max, I assume in his pre-hairy, long hair days.
I'm old!
Right.
And that's the other thing, is that watching Mad Max 2, Road Warrior, and Beyond Thunderdome, there's tons of little send-ups and things. Do you remember one of the wives in the back seat has a little music box and she's just rotating it?
Yeah.
That's something that's all over Beyond Thunderdome. Mad Max has that. The Immortan Joe is played by the same actor who played the first final boss in Mad
the
Max
original
1,
movie.
Toe Cutter. And he's like, it's not the same character. He just loves me.
But it's the same actor.
So there's all these little things, and like the gag with Mad Max having a fucking shotgun that doesn't work. He also held up someone in the other movies where a shotgun did not work, and he just kind of faked it or whatever. But
let's not get too specific though.
Yeah, sure. But like since we're already like halfway through there, during this weekend I was on the Scared to Care charity live stream that Vernon from Hot Pepper Gaming, and also, do you remember Sheena?
Not quite Frodo.
No. Vernon, that's Jared you're thinking of. Vernon's the other guy.
Okay.
Do you remember Sheena from PAX Boston, the girl that came up to us?
Yeah, I remember.
She also ran this stream.
Cool.
And I was unfortunately subjugated to play RE6.
Okay.
And RE6 is way, way, way worse than I remember it when it was at launch, which is shocking to me.
I played the PC version when it came out and was like just, oh man, this controls so badly.
And I was playing Leon, so I was like, let me give this the best shot ever. And I was playing Leon, and it's not the best setup because there was a room full of 7 people that meet over Skype. And I kind of wish that they kind of, everyone's there to have fun and get money for charity. This was for to raise money for summer camps for kids with cancer. Really good, charity to work for. But when there's 7 people in a room locally, and then there's one voice coming from Skype, it's not the best. Guys! I saw a lot of people going, "Oh, Matt's giving out some A material, but no one can hear him."
Yeah,
because there's 7 people.
So the stream was
your fault.
Not really.
You playing?
This was me playing the campaign online with another guy in there, but there's 7 other people in the room. There's so much going on. But it was still a fun time. A lot of people that hadn't played RE6 in that room was like, wow, this is awful.
It's really bad.
And I went,
the campaign
is
so bad.
Really, and I go, it's like, how come there was no prompt to jump out of that train?
The controls are so bad, and I want to specify that for the areas that they give you in the campaign. They're not wide enough for the turn radius.
Like the problem with the controls is you have too much control for the environments in the campaign.
Yeah,
and they're only good when you put them in a wider area.
If you had a big wide open area, they're great.
When you put them in a wider area,
fucking tiny corridors, and your character has self-controlled, non-turning movement.
When you get into mercenaries, it gets just as good as Vanquish.
Tuck and roll and flip and rumble.
I forgot in Leon's campaign how many cabin sequences there are.
There are multiple.
There's 4 in the first chapter, and everyone's just like, well, this is a lot like the cabin sequence. I'm like, I know, right? It's just awful in every way. We finished the first campaign. I had a good time, and right after that, I had to go and get the postcard prints for MomoCon.
Yes.
Our really good friends at, I always forget how to pronounce it, Altair News.
Atelier.
They did such a good job where I was like, we need to print these. Okay, let's go down to this copy center to print them. And I was like, all right, we'll give them the job, and then I'll come back in a few days and get them, hopefully just in time for MomoCon. And no, our good friend just stayed there with me, cut them right there, got them all 100 done, and I was just super thankful because a lot going on this week.
Hey, I hadn't seen them all before this, but they're fucking great.
They're fucking great. The Shovel Knight one, the Bloodborne one is fantastic.
I think Cranky's take on the stand. What's that called again? The
police,
the mugshot kind of thing. Yeah. I think that was really smart.
I'm not. Cranky executed it, but it was kind of my idea where I was just like, we need a dedicated space,
a signing space.
Because if anything, you guys remember when we signed something, especially like a game cover.
Yeah.
Willie and Pat and Liam took all the. Where am I supposed to?
If you're the 4th person, it's tough.
It's tough.
It's slim pickings.
Yeah. So Cranky did a really good job with that, and our other artist friend did a really good job with that. So those turned out really well.
Dude, you have notes.
I have notes. I had a lot
of stuff. Notes every week. Man.
I have notes every week.
Does he?
Yeah.
Shit.
That's when the phone comes out.
That's when the phone comes out. The one game I played. I'm sorry, Pat. I downloaded it and had no chance to play Witcher.
Yeah, that's fine.
I wish I could talk about it.
It's like, Liam, you played at least some of it?
No, not since last week.
But I did play, I'm not sure, I think at least Liam might have heard of a game called Lifeless Planet, where you play as a little astronaut.
Yeah, I never actually played it, but I saw it was existing.
It came out on Xbox, Games of Gold or whatever. You play as a little astronaut alone on a planet, and that's it. You have a little burst.
How's the life on the planet?
It's lifeless, actually, except for
pretty
one
sparse.
Mysterious girl that can exist without a spacesuit, and you're just platforming and just long stretches of just trying to navigate around
Is it 2D
rocks.
or 3D?
It's 3D. It's like really zoomed out camera. You're a little astronaut, and you have a burst of air in your jetpack, so you have a little double jump. That's all you get for like the longest time. And you have to constantly refill your oxygen tanks with air. And you get crash landed on this planet, and you're like, wow, this planet isn't green like Command said. Okay, it's just desert, and you find a Soviet outpost. And the Russians have been here for years, and you find their skeletons and notes about what happened. It's really, really intriguing. I wound up playing it for like 3 hours. No combos, no combat, no enemies except for long falls and like vines that kill you.
Okay, yeah.
It's really, really interesting. It's a little rough around the edges. I fell through the world once. Indefinitely, Knuckles style. And there's some little, like, hitches here and there, but it's not a looker either.
Is it, like, open world? Like, can you go over the whole planet, or is it...
You can look back all the way from where you came, but there are, like, a loading screen. I played for 3 hours, there's, like, 2
So it is, like, area-based, kind of.
It's area-based, but you do long stretches of seeing where you came from.
That's cool. It'd be tough to do a full planet.
I don't know what it is, but it was just very charming. There's a little bit of voice acting here and there, and just long stretches of just, navigating the environment, trying to figure out where to go, and I really, really enjoyed it.
It's on Xbox One and PC?
Xbox One, I assume PS4.
Not yet on PS4 anyway.
Okay. So maybe it's just Xbox One and PC right now. And the last 2 things I did really quickly is that I saw a documentary on Netflix called, maybe Woolie's familiar with it, Aronofsky's Dune? No?
Aronofsky's Dune.
Dune, yeah.
Okay.
It's a documentary about the guy that started to make a movie based on Dune, and just Hollywood just sandbagged
the one in, like,
him
2004, right?
super hard.
They sandbagged the Dune movie, huh?
Like 80s, like 70s.
Oh, with the black and white posters and shit, yeah.
It was the director of El Topo, which is a crazy Spanish director, and El Topo was a movie that inspired Suda 51 a lot. And he was like, I'm going to make a Dune movie. And he was going to get Mick Jagger, Salvador Dali,
of course,
Orson Welles to play in this movie. And Orson
Out of
Welles,
his grave?
he was alive at the time. This is like 78.
Okay.
And Salvador Dali goes, I will not be in this movie unless you pay me $100,000 an hour. And then they go, well, we can't pay that. And he goes, I'm Dali. And then they go, okay, how about we pay you $100,000 a minute? And they go, yeah. And then they go, how long is this role in the movie? It's about 5 minutes. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
So they fooled Dolly.
Will there be melting clocks in this movie?
Salvador Dali's like, I'll play the Emperor of the Galaxy. And they're going to have Mick Jagger play like this and that. And they got this dream team.
Wow.
They got Geiger well before Alien to do before. And then when all of this fell apart, when they got a big Bible of every shot, every single thing, all the actors were locked in, they shopped it around in Hollywood and they go, no. And then they go, fuck. They couldn't get the financing, it all fell apart, and then everyone else from their team got handpicked to make Alien. Okay. Geiger, the guy that designed the Nostromo, all these ships, they just moved on to Alien. And that's why, without this movie, Alien would not be what it is. Oh. It was an amazing documentary.
And thus, if Alien doesn't exist, then...
mostly everything doesn't exist.
Cinema and video games are doomed.
The team that was on this went on.
The director, the Spanish guy, Aronofsky or whatever, he goes, I'm very thankful that at least the team I created went on to make something amazing. Mm-hmm. And he goes, when David Lynch finally made Dune, I did not want to see it. I did not want to see someone else making the movie. And then my son finally managed me to go see it. His son was going to play Paul, right? The main character of Dune. And his son was like 13, and he goes, Paul, you're going to train for 2 years with karate and jujitsu and military shit. You're going to train for fucking 2 years, and I'm just going to sacrifice my son because I would sacrifice myself to make Dune. I am crazy. I am insane, and then the movie didn't get made. Mm. And his son, you see his son now, and he's like in his 40s. And he's like, well, I learned jujitsu, though, so that was cool.
Was Ridley Scott involved in that?
No, not at all.
Because I always assumed that he picked Giger or was involved with.
Give me that weird penis guy from the Dune movie.
I watched the Alien special things, and he just so happened that all this was being done in France, and then that's what Alien was being made in England, and they just do you know anybody? And if that guy wasn't in France working on this version of Dune, then that would not have happened. So of course, when he actually saw David Lynch's Dune, he goes, "Oh, this is fine because this is fucking awful." Wow. I'm really glad that this is a horrible, horrible abortion, he writes. And it was just, he was sandbagging, David Lynch's Dune is no great thing, but...
David Lynch's Dune sucks because, it is unwatchable if you haven't read the books. Yeah. And if you've read the books, it's not faithful to them.
So you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, exactly.
The documentary starts on Nicholas Winding whatever, the guy that directed Drive, and he goes, I was invited to Aronofsky's place, and he showed me the big Bible that they had. He talked me through every shot. So essentially, I'm the only person that's seen his Dune. And it's the greatest motion picture ever made. Fuck you. He just goes, "I am the privileged one."
You know what, though, man? We live at least we live in a world where when amazing projects don't happen, a documentary can at least tell us about them.
There's a giant book that's this thick of the entire movie that
we've got Unseen 64 and all kinds of shit like that to like go, "Hey, look what you almost got but didn't."
Yeah.
You know?
And the last little thing is that I watched another movie on Xbox video, and I assume it's on PSN as well. I absolutely 100% recommend this. It's a vampire comedy from the guys that created Flight of the Conchords.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Called What We Do in the Shadows. And it's a Parks and Recreation version.
So, sorry, is it the two guys from Flight of the Conchords?
They're both written, but the one guy with the glasses...
okay.
Because
that's the name of their band, right?
He plays one of the vampires, and the other guy is just a writer of it, whatever.
Okay.
And it's called What We Do in the Shadows, and it's probably one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. It's a documentary about 4 vampires living in a flat in modern times. And there's one Nosferatu-style vampire, one vampire dandy, one Vlad Tepes, Dracula, and one rock star, Anne Rice, Deacon Frost. His name is Deacon.
Okay.
And they all live together, and it's a hilarious comedy where it's very, very Parks and Rec, where the camera zooms in on people's faces.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious.
It sounds like you're describing a comedy version of White Wolf's Vampire the Masquerade.
It is.
Almost.
It very is. They wake up and then they go, "All right, we're going to have a flat meeting in 10 minutes." They live in New Zealand.
Of course they do.
Of course they do, because Flight of the Conchords. So they live in New Zealand. They go, "All right, we're getting invited to the masquerade. I am dressed as Blade." Vampires don't like Blade. No, but vampires really like Blade. He's half vampire. He hunts vampires, Deacon. Oh, I forgot. And then they have a familiar. This woman familiar was like, he was going to promise me that he was going to bite me. It's been 5 years. I constantly get called.
Supposed to be a Kiwi accent?
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm
Sounds like you're from India.
Yeah, you're doing an
Fake
Indian accent.
India.
It's really hard. And she goes, I have to scrub their fucking bathroom of blood, and I have 3 kids, and I can't be doing this. I want eternal life now. And then the last little joke about it is that they meet a group of werewolves, just regular Kiwi guys that are all in tracksuits. And they're and the Vlad Tepes guy just turns to the camera and goes, "All right, I smell werewolves. Some shit's going to go down here." And they talk to the werewolves and goes, "Hey, what you guys doing? Smelling each other's crotches?" "We don't smell each other's crotches. We smell our own crotch." "Shut up! Get out of here!" And they're like, "Oh yes, these werewolves, so scary, huh?" And they go,
"Okay, stop with the accent.
Stop with the accent. You're flying all over the place."
I'm sorry.
The handle's over there, and you float all the way to the other side.
It's one of the funniest things.
So sorry, I wrote it down. What's it called? Sorry.
What we do in the shadows.
Yeah. Okay.
I laugh nonstop.
I'd like to see it.
A bunch of the werewolves kill somebody, and then these cops are like, I don't know, someone tore all these guys' guts. We assume it's dogs, and they find some random cute dog. "We have to put this dog down. We have to put him down." And you see this cute dog with no blood on its face.
Yeah.
Here we go, and they put the dog in the back of the truck, and I start laughing my ass off.
Sorry,
fantastic.
Is it starring the guys from Flight of the Conchords?
It's starring one guy.
Written by them.
It's written by
someone else. Okay.
But it stars the one guy with the glasses, Javier Jardine,
okay.
or whatever.
Right. He's in it.
And he plays the Vlad Tepes guy.
Okay.
And another guy that appears in Flying Conchords plays the head of the werewolf clan.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
I can't recommend it highly enough. So yeah,
All
sorry
right.
I went on a little bit there.
No worries.
I know, especially since Woolie's had a giant week.
I did, but first let's take a quick word from our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to us by a new sponsor, Casper Mattresses. Now, you're probably wondering, guys.
Yes.
A little bit.
Mattresses? What does that have to do with
us?
Us and video games and stuff.
Well, us.
But here's the question.
I know that we're irregular about it, but we do have to sleep sometimes.
Do we sleep?
Yeah.
At least 3 of us sleep.
Right?
Yeah.
at any given point,
one of us is sleeping.
75% of the best friends are sleeping.
Exactly.
At a given time.
Exactly.
So Casper Mattresses is an American company that makes American-made mattresses.
Dang.
And
Marco quality.
And they're, they say they make good quality mattresses, and I'm like, really? Are they good quality? And then they're like, yo, we're sending you one. And I was like, wait, what?
And then one was underneath you.
I actually, like,
slid
walked,
under your butt cheeks.
They fit it under the door. I don't know how it happened. It was kind of nuts. But it's like, it's one of these, like,
memory
foam mattresses.
Astronaut.
Yeah.
That comes, like, rolled up in, like, a box that ships to your house.
Yeah,
and
you put it on your bed. I'm
so
sitting on it right now.
You're on it. You're on it.
It's a lot more comfortable than your lumpy hunk of shit mattress.
I'm
enjoying this chair.
This one hasn't had the hunk of shit that he puts in them.
I got off a bus from 8 hours from Toronto last night.
Right.
I was exhausted. I dropped on the bed.
Did this come in at the same time?
It came in at the same time.
Wow.
You know what happened?
You fell right the fuck to sleep.
I slept. And you know what? What else are you going to say about it?
Nope.
It's a bed.
Puts you to sleep.
And I slept.
If I can sleep on your mattress,
right?
Fucking job done.
Let me ask you a question. Did you wake up in the middle of the night going, fuck this mattress?
No.
Well, okay, that's a seal quality.
Right?
Yeah,
there you go. Like, just Ron Swanson it. Pretty good mattresses. What else is there to say?
You slept on a Nimbus.
So, apparently, they also have a deal where you can try it for 100 days.
100 days seems laughably lax.
So it's like, so you have 100 days to try it out, sleep with it, and whatnot. And if there's any reason why you don't like it, you can send it. They can come pick it back up.
They pick it back up.
They pick it back up.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And,
that's cool.
You get your money back, and they donate it to a local shelter or...
like they don't resell it.
No, it goes to a local place in need, depending on where you are.
That's pretty cool, actually.
So that's actually pretty cool.
That's actually really cool.
And same thing for their exchange policy. I was looking it up, and it's like, if you want to exchange it for a different one or a bigger size or something, they come pick it up and they bring it to a place in need nearby, and then
that's
yours.
actually really great. I hadn't heard of any companies doing that.
Yeah, neither.
That's fantastic.
So it's about $500 for a twin size mattress and $950 for a king size mattress. Which, if you guys ever bought a bed before, you know that's crazy cheap by comparison to what you usually get.
That's pretty good.
King size, that's
that is good.
That's right under the cusp of it.
And if you head over to Casper.com/super, use the code super, you get $50 off any mattress. Pretty straightforward.
So go try your free 100-day mattress.
No, your free 99-day mattress.
99-day mattress. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and
that last night's gonna go.
Yeah, and then the idea is that, like, even those you were trying to rip it off, go, oh man, I'm sleeping so good, and you sleep through that 100th day.
Oh,
yeah. That's where they get you.
Yeah. They get you by being comfortable.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
You go.
So that's it.
You can rest easy.
Casper mattresses.
You have the best possible.
The mattress is America made.
Casper.com/super, promo code super. Thank you, Casper Mattresses.
Thanks, Casper.
Thank you, friendly ghost.
I got a good night's sleep. Okay, yeah.
What's your giant week?
Oh, man.
Giant attack.
Dude, I live on the road now.
Condense it down into 12 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, like, I'm going to start off with just, like, so when we last left off, I was in New York and had, like, another day to go.
It's true.
And so on the last day...
how's your stab wounds?
Hi. Fine. Not bad. I went to this thing that I talked to you about it, Matt, not too long ago, but it's this show called Sleep No More. Mm-hmm. And it's probably the best stage production I've ever seen. You go down to you sign into a hotel and you basically walk through these fucking giant warehouse doors into pitch black darkness.
Okay.
You sign up and get a playing card that acts as a ticket, and then you get led into this, like, speakeasy kind of lounge BioShock bar. Mm-hmm. And this host comes out, and it's a creepy old hotel, and he introduces the whole night to you, and he's like, well, we're going to be escorting you onto the premises, enjoy your stay, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. You get forcibly separated from anyone you go in there with, and you're given... this mask
wrench you apart.
Right here.
Ah, masquerade.
So everyone has to put on this mask.
This creep-ass
mask, right?
It's like a plague mask.
It's like the Scream mask with the bottom cut off and with a duckbill kind of
type of thing, right? And so everyone at all times must keep that mask on. And you all get ushered into random floors, random places in this giant ass empty warehouse. And so you walk through it, and not warehouse, like a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got put off on the bottom floor, and I saw everyone kind of go left, and I just kind of went right in this area.
That's what you should do.
The whole thing is dark. There's music, like creepy ambient music throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is,
audio logs.
And honestly, what it is a real life video game.
Yeah.
It's a self-contained ARG. And you go around and like you look at things from like people that are staying at the hotel. You find messages and letters and things that to look at. And every once in a while, you see somebody that's not wearing a mask, and that's a character.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're doing their performance.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So you can choose to follow them and see what they do, or keep going.
So they're running their NPC routines?
They're running their routine.
Yeah.
And,
but it's the opposite way, really.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Yeah,
you're
the NPC.
But their routine is like a full thing that you can go through, and like I came across somebody and I stuck with them for a little bit, and then they briefly crossed paths with another person, and you see just a crowd of people watching them. They all get together, have a moment where something happens with their interaction, and then you choose which one to follow. And then they both go sprinting off in two directions, you know? It was unbelievable because like
running?
Running.
And you have people running.
Yeah, and not everyone makes it.
Yeah.
Right? And then they sometimes...
What happened? He's dead!
And sometimes they go sprinting up or downstairs and shit like that, and you lose them around corners and end up lost in a completely different area. Right? Yeah. There's shit where like there's like hidden doors and things.
That's
and like,
really cool.
You get lost in like a forest type area at one point.
What?
Like there's an indoor forest with a hedge maze.
Okay.
And I was following like this nurse, right? And she's like a creepy fucking like weirdo nurse that's like walking on her own, and I noticed that like she sprinted past me. I was going the opposite way, and there was a giant crowd following her, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm first." So I ran behind her, and then she slipped through the cracks of this fence that I'm not big enough to fucking slip through.
You're too big.
Yeah. So I'm like, shit. So I like exterior collisions it down, until I eventually find my way through the maze to where she was, and I come across her finding another nurse on the ground. They pick each other up. They have this whole thing. And we follow them to this area, and the whole thing, there's no word spoken. Mm-hmm. It's all through just gestures, noises, and
all
movement.
Mute.
Right?
Oh, nobody speaks.
No one speaks the whole time.
Okay.
Right, so it's a silent thing. And at one point, they go into this like cabin that's locked, and like they go inside and lock the door, and you can't follow them, but you can kind of peek through the cracks of the wood to see what's going on, and they're having a weird interaction in there. And then at one point, like, the door flies open, one of the nurses comes running out, and the other one's like, no, wait, kind of come back, kind of gesture, and then she goes running out, and then everyone's staring, looking at this one that's, like, just kind of lost, and she looks around, and then she looks at me, and extends her hand, and I'm like, and she grabs my hand, and pulls me alone into the cabin.
You got lucky.
And shuts the door, and no one else is in there. And then she sits me down, and, like, pulls my mask off. And, like, there's a moment, and then she starts actually explaining a part of the plot of what's happening.
There needs to be that at least at some point.
Which I'm not going to spoil for anyone that happened to.
Tell no one ever.
I will no, I will not.
Take it to your grave.
And then she like starts preparing some tea, like for me, and like gives me like a bit of the lore. And then this whole fucking crazy thing happens, and it's all synced up with the music that's happening there at the same time. And then, like,
they all have to be running on pretty exact time,
exact schedules. And then eventually, like, she spilled part of it on me and like freaked out and starts slamming her head on shit and like losing her mind.
Wow.
And then just like forces me out, and I'm back on my own. And then she shuts the door again.
And you're just like,
and everyone's looking at me. You kind of like, what did you get? What happened? And it's like, no, shut. You can't talk. Silence. It's an amazing experience. It's super good. And I know, again, I don't want to give too much details about it, but it's worth it to just go check this out. It's like nothing else you will really see as far as performances go.
There's a thing very similar, is that when I was walking by to go somewhere in Toronto, someone gave me a card for a place that's very similar, but it's literally, especially for Liam, it's Room Escape.
There's a place like that.
Yeah. There's like rounds and timers and puzzles and figure it out.
That's located.
But this is like a more theatrical.
Yeah,
literally like 3 blocks
the Room
away.
Escape thing is totally here in Montreal called Amaze. That's one thing.
I think that's
but
what
this
it
is, excuse me, this is Sleep No More. And the only thing I want to say is like,
was it scary? By the way,
yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
Especially when you're on your own and just tons of creepy shit. Yeah. No, you walk into an empty fucking nursery and you see the creepy bloodstained crib, and then you're like, okay, and then around the roof is just dolls of babies with their heads ripped off, just hanging and shit. Like, it's fucking creepy.
That's scary.
The whole way through.
That's too scary.
And like all I want is
when do they run the baby version?
And the one thing I'll give you, like, because I saw another performance where a girl got pulled into a secret room.
Oh, like a separate thing.
Yeah. So there's like, it's like, if you're lucky, you're one of the few that gets to learn a piece of the plot.
Right. People are in this.
Yeah, that
the performance.
No, like how many? Customers, participants.
So it's a 5-floor hotel, right, with multiple rooms.
Are we talking 20, 100?
How many people are let in?
How many people are let in at a time? I want to say that over the course of its last 3 hours.
Okay, and that was my second question.
You're locked in there for about 3 hours.
3 hours is a good amount of time.
Right, to really get in there. And you're probably in there with, maybe like 100 people.
Okay, that's
way more than
that time limit and those amounts seem correct.
But it's a number that it's large enough that like you will see a giant crowd and go, some shit's going on over there.
Yeah.
But if you wander off on your own,
you'll be totally
you will be alone.
Yeah. Okay.
And the only other thing I'm going to give with it is that there's moments where stories start to like come together, right? And you get awesome moments where like you like a bunch of people meet up at a bar and like start playing, like they're playing this creepy fucking card game, and eventually like one.
Are they playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Is that what
they're playing? Like they're playing a game with a deck of cards, and every time like a certain card gets played, like one of them, like everyone looks around and gets all kind of fucked up, and one of them grabs that card, walks over to a wall that's just darkness. They grab a lamp and point it at this wall, and this card has been nailed infinitely to this wall, and they just add another number. And then, like, a dude in, like, that's, like, everyone's having their shots playing this card game. And then this man just soaked in blood just walks through the room.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right.
Follow that
You
guy.
gonna follow him or not? Are you gonna know? All right, well, hey.
Well, unfortunately, what you'd want to do is figure out where he came from.
Exactly, right? And so the genius of the design of this thing is that you do decide, for example, to follow him or not or whatever. You get this, oh God, a pregnant little woman just down in shots at this bar, and you're like, what's her story? And whoever you follow...
I imagine you have to go to this like 15 times to get...
If you want to get the full thing...
A lot of replay value.
So they do sell an art book at the end that kind of pieces it together for you. But
how much did this cost?
So there depends on when you go, because you can go for like the full thing where like you stay there, have a dinner, have a full show for like.
You didn't do that.
No, I didn't do that. And that full thing is like I think like $225, $250.
That's it.
Or you can go see a regular show on a regular night for like $150, or special nights we got in $100.
Okay.
You know.
You seem reasonable for the level of absurd production.
Yeah, and like and the bar is real. Like you order drinks at the real bar, and like, and then they're like, the fucking.
Does a skeleton serve it to you?
Your BioShock style Rapture bartenders serve it up to you.
The word you're looking for is Art Deco.
Someone gets a drink with a roofie, and they wake up in another
part of the story. Yeah, and like the only thing I want to say is like you have a moment where all your characters, as it were, you follow them down into this large like area, this big banquet hall, and it's just you get to watch this whole amazingly coordinated scene unfold, and then some shit goes down, and then that banquet breaks up. And then you get to choose who to follow again, and then you realize that's loop 2.
Is this the thing you were saying?
Oh, okay, yeah, all right,
right. And so you're like, oh my god, this is actually a sequence. So I can now go right, and then you start to do the second loop and see
you can see Bloodman over there, not covered in blood,
and you get to
go
right,
Bloodman.
So you start, and then so you do that second loop. But the second loop is not the exact same.
Of course,
yeah.
Is this thing you're saying is like the thing from Kimmy Schmidt? The haunted like
no, that's something. The fucking werewolf stupid thing. That's some dumb restaurant shit. That's not that.
Too many Spider-Man?
You said you saw something that was similar.
Yeah, there's a place called Times Scare in New York City.
It's so good.
And I think it's a horror theme restaurant.
No matter what you do, no matter what experience you have, no matter what restaurant you go to, no matter whatever cultured thing you do, Matt will always zoom in on the Denny's equivalent of that experience and go, oh yeah, Times Square, yeah, it's the best.
So anyway, putting it out there because it's something that is clearly not going to be around forever. Yeah. And it's clearly very time limited, so it's like, get to it if you can. And doing some research on the guys that put it together, apparently these guys got hired to do a Resistance 3 promo thing in the UK of a similar ARG
because I remember there was a thing like that, now that you mention it, because I was following
they converted a giant room into a Resistance 3 survival chamber.
This reminds me...
Wow, it's awesome that they can make a living.
There was a failed Kickstarter that was kicking around a long time ago that was the most absurdly large-scale thing I've ever seen. The idea was like, okay, Detroit land is cheap. It's fucking cheap because no one even lives there. It's just empty lots.
Why not turn all of Detroit into an ARG? What if we
bought 8 blocks of Detroit and turned it into a gigantic
Running Man
paintball scenario?
Running Man.
It would cost nothing.
Well, land-wise, it would, and then that never went anywhere because of the logistics. But that'd be so cool.
Yeah. But no, this is
turn it into the Thunderdome.
This is your real life because I like ARGs in concept on paper,
but if you
actually executing them is
very difficult, and the fact that and the main problem is that you have a life.
Yeah. If it's not easy enough that I can digest it, then it's like
the problem with ARGs. They have to be balanced towards the internet. And the internet has infinite time power for ARGs, which means that you and I will never be able to actually
no individual can
right.
And that level of running out to the phone booth as it's ringing to answer the phone in time, that's not going to happen.
But if you have a localized ARG with its difficulty scaled towards human beings solving it in 2 hours,
then
you're locked in. And at some points,
if you don't solve it, progress is nice.
And you can loop back to the entrance eventually. You can, if you wander long enough, you'll find it where you get back into the bar and the band is still playing, and you can have a drink and you can calm down and then put the mask on and go back in.
So, like, unless it's spoilers, like, how does it end? Is there one guy?
There's
how does it end?
But I mean, like, it's not possible for people to stay out at the edges.
No. There's I'm not going to get into specifics.
But they funnel everyone.
So there's
basically
3 loops, and each loop gets more fucked up.
That's
and then the final loop, basically, when all the shit's going down and your mask is sweating, you're fucking drenched, and you're just like because it's 3 hours of just your senses being overloaded with like immersion. It hits the point where you go for that final banquet. And there's basically if you're following anybody, you're gonna end up in this room, and you get that eyes wide shut, creepy ass feeling of like everyone is in masks just watching something go down, you know. And then there's these people that are in all black that are your enforcer type people that you can't see them.
Yeah, stop fucking up the show.
Right, but if you turn a corner where you're not supposed to be, there's one standing there.
Okay,
and eventually they slowly close in on you. And you get ushered towards the exit.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It's actually cool. You have enough enforcers to cover every possible hallway and exit, and all they have to do is move forward a little bit.
That's what you pay $150 a person for.
Yeah. And they even have it like in the the thing where it's like a game teaches you a mechanic and then like you use it when you need to. So you have a little bit of that where like the first super dark pitch black hallway, you turn and you see a light source, and next to that light source is a vague. Super what is that shape? And it's like, oh, that's an enforcer right there, blocking a path where you're not supposed to go, and you're supposed to go to the right type of thing. You're like, okay, that's what he's there for. My safety / don't do this
out of bounds
type of thing.
Out of bounds.
So that's the shit.
Oh, today's going to be a long podcast.
Yeah, no. I know. I'm just going to
just look at the time.
It's cool. I'm not.
No, that's fine. Man, just make a long podcast.
Yeah, because this thing was awesome. I wanted to give that the time it needs.
It sounds really
Beyond that, I checked out the Guggenheim, and like half of it was shut down, so I didn't get to see a lot of the cool shit.
Like
what was there was not very great. It was pretty underwhelming. So
Willie's done better.
What can I say?
What about that part where the guy got killed in the Bourne movie?
Our Montreal Museum of History is more interesting with its permanent selection, I think.
Okay, fair.
But anyway, there's that. And then I fucking I got back to Montreal and then immediately got on a bus to Toronto for Anime North.
Ooh.
And
apparently you know the meaning of love now.
the concept of love.
Whatever. I don't
understand the concept.
You're starting to
understand. So
my ignorance about Jet Set Radio is confirmed.
It persists, but that's
coming
fine.
to a climax right there.
So yeah, I've been to Anime North fucking countless times. All right, I've been there as the like wide-eyed anime fanboy first year.
Of course.
Oh my god,
You're with your little sand village thing.
I'm spending $1,000 on everything.
Yeah, that was a rough time 4 years ago.
Yeah, right. And
that was 6 years.
Going back to like 03 basically. You know? And watched it.
Oh god,
blossom.
I'm so old.
Watched it blossom into this giant ass fucking convention center thing, and I've gone there as the tired vet, and I've gone there as the guy who's just going to spend time in the video game room, as the guy who's going to just be in the dealer's room, just the events and so on. So I've done it from every angle.
You wear many hats,
many faces, including the most recent one being us there on business, right?
Yeah,
and I've kind of been like, oh, well, I've done it. I've done it all. But what I didn't realize is...
you never cosplayed something.
I had, but I hadn't done I don't even go indoors. I'm just doing the cosplay
only
group
cosplay
thing.
route.
And that's a completely different experience, and it was fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. So I joined the Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future cosplay group at Anime North this year, and one is Professor K. And the experience of having literally like every playable character from the game... with me, with a giant fucking boombox blasting Jet Set Radio music as we just take over the parking lot
really cool,
was like 11.
How many of those
10.
moments, or how long did it persist, those moments of like, no, these aren't costumes, fuck it. That's so-and-so.
Well,
I am Professor K.
Yeah, no,
shut up.
Like, the thing is, the hotel we stayed at was, like, obviously a little bit off from where the convention center was.
Is it the same thing as last time? Last year?
Location?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
it's
like,
been in the same
was
place.
it the same sort of hotel where it was kind of a ways away from where...
No, I didn't stay in that one. No, okay. I wasn't on the one over the bridge. I was on the one on the same side as the TCC.
The bridge thing, man.
But the point was that coming into the parking lot, like, you could just hear us coming.
Yeah.
From down the street, and then it's like, oh shit, Jet Set Radio's coming through, make way, and we just roll in, and it was just an amazingly satisfying experience, because you have the soundtrack to the show you're doing while the photos are going off and shit.
Yeah. It'd be cool if next year people are coming in with a blind guy in with a onesie with a flame guitar.
Yeah.
And then his music's blasting and everyone's driving cars.
It was amazing.
So we're gonna have to check your guitar for weapons. No, but it's just a light. Oh,
damn it. My mom made this all night.
And had quite a few moments where like fans like kind of came up and were just like, "Oh shit, Professor Wooly!" What?
2 layers.
Yeah, like surprise, And like I went into the actual dealer's room twice. Mm-hmm. Like it was just I didn't go to any events. It was just cosplay group. Did a photo shoot and then just fucking partied and like had a great time, and it's a very different type of experience, but like that put the fun back into the con for me because it was pretty dry otherwise.
I had friends who used to do that every year and they got fed up of it and they went and just didn't do that and they were like, oh my god, this is all fresh and new.
So like shout outs to the crew that I went with, and like I feel sorry for your ankles. Everyone on rollerblades for hours. Ooh. That shit is painful as fuck.
Yeah.
But you did it, and it was amazing. Like, I'm looking up Jet Set Radio Future Cosplay on Google, and there's, like, one group that did something.
It's not the most popular thing.
It just doesn't happen. And there was, like, one other Professor K, So it's like, I'm like, okay, we're doing something that everyone knows, but no one's bothered to do it.
Yeah,
and it fucking worked, man.
How many Borutos did you see?
I don't even know what it looks like.
I don't even know.
It has a wrench and it's all brown.
Well, that was part of the fun too, because it's like like I love JoJo, but you're gonna see JoJo every year.
Yeah.
You're gonna see the stuff that we know that's probably you're gonna see Attack on Titan every year.
Yeah,
but you will not see Jet Set every year, and that's what's fun.
Boy, are you gonna see Attack on Titan every year? I just real like that's never gonna go away.
And beyond that, I guess just like the sort of peripheral Toronto experience was...
I'm not very happy. Suck it, Toronto.
Yeah, after getting off the bus, I saw this giant lineup for something called Uncle Tetsu's Cheesecake,
whoa,
or
that
whatever.
Sounds awesome.
And it's just this huge fucking line around the station. And I was like, okay, mental note. and then on my way back, like, I was like, okay, I've got 3 hours to kill before my bus comes. Let's stand in this line and find out.
I feel like that cheesecake hit me with a hurricane.
Yeah, like, I was like, I'd never do this otherwise, but it's like, fuck it. And it was an hour and a half standing in line. Got the cheesecake. Wasn't even that great.
Oh, no.
Oh, great.
It was alright.
Amazing.
If there wasn't a line,
was it
they wouldn't have done
expensive?
it.
No. It was not expensive, but it's like world-renowned cheesecake, and I tried it, and I was like, you know what? Like, it tastes more like a pancake without sugar.
Like, it's alright.
It was alright.
It doesn't taste as good as that 7-year-old the cheesecake that I had at PAX Prime.
The century cake.
And it's like one cake per person. One thing per...
Well, when you've got
lines that big, exactly. You know?
Or else someone will take it out and sell it to a guy in line for double.
So they're, whatever with that.
Halfway back in the line, those guys are willing to pay the most.
They're desperate. They'll do anything.
Walk through downtown Toronto, and like I'm like, hey, is that a helicopter crash? And the security guard's like, no, it's a Suicide Squad. I'm like, oh, same difference.
So filming Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
In
Downtown.
Yeah.
So are you in the movie now?
So I walked by and I saw the whole place converted to.
Yeah, I saw a photo.
The whole
of it.
corner of Bay and like whatever the other main street was converted to Midtown, or not Midtown, whatever.
Some disaster.
Some name of a. I forgot the name of the city.
Gotham
it's not Gotham. It's another city.
Whatever.
And it's like giant
it's Green Lantern
helicopter.
City.
It's not. But anyway, it's like giant helicopter crashed into a bus and police cars and like burnt out just props and shit around. And it's like, yeah, okay, this is going to be a scene in the movie, and. It just everyone's taking selfies. It's almost like a fucking like a theme park, and how open it is for you to just walk through the set.
Oh, it doesn't have like bars around
It's really weird. Like there's a couple of guards standing around, but you can get really close to all the props and shit. And it's almost like is this promotion?
You can film like that in Canada, but you can't film like that elsewhere.
Like,
because you can't let more people take pictures of Harley Quinn's costume.
Yeah,
can everyone just step back? Oh, okay.
Yeah, more than a couple people ran into Will Smith, just or saw him doing his thing around. And
hey, Will Smith, I heard you're crazy now. What's up with that?
Well, no, just my kids, man. Just my kids,
okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna play System Shock.
But whatever. It was a fucking movie set, nothing to say there.
Yeah.
And what was cool was on the bus rides. Of course, you have a lot of fucking downtime, so I got to consume a lot of shit. A comic that I want you guys would probably like, and Matt, this is actually something you'd like as well. No, we were talking about how Swery wants his new game to be Detective Girl that masturbates,
Detective Public Masturbator Girl,
to use her powers to solve problems.
That's correct.
Right?
You're right. I do like these things.
So
that comes on right after Bitch Hunter.
So there's this comic called Sex Criminals. And it's fucking great. It starts out where just this girl that discovers that when she schlicks off and she has that magic moment, time stops.
Okay.
Like literally.
And she discovers this as a kid. And literally she stops time.
Okay.
And as a kid, she figures this out, and it's like, but doesn't know that it's not normal because it's like not something you can approach people about.
Explained to her, yeah.
And it's sex, so
and
it's taboo.
Even if you said, "Oh man, it's like time stops,"
So it's this great thing of like, I guess that's normal and whatnot. And then eventually she realizes it's not, but she has the power to stop time by coming to orgasm. And then eventually, fooling around as a 20-something, eventually hooks up with a guy and
who also has the same power.
They both finish, and it's like, wait, how are you here? And why didn't you freeze? Oh shit! And then plots ensue.
Time to rob some banks.
Yeah. Well, did you read about?
No.
They rob banks.
Really, the first thing people do when they discover time powers is rob banks.
Exactly. So, and that's where this goes.
I read a comic with the opposite premise. Where
what? When time stops, you have an orgasm?
These two people who loved each other, when they were close together, time stopped.
Oh.
And time didn't resume until they went
separated.
Further away from each other.
Okay.
And for a long, and over time, it became a bigger and bigger distance. And eventually one of them had to,
go away.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really good premise.
And it ends where
they
show up at the guy's parents' place, and they're 20 years older, and they have a kid.
Yeah, okay.
And that's how it ended.
Who puts this out? Who publishes this?
I don't know, but it's in my bag
not
over there.
DC,
I bet if you ask Swery about this comic, he'll say he never read it.
We'll talk
But it's just proof that that could be used as a device, and it's actually a really good comic. I'm
in a weird place where I go up to a comic book store. I'm like, can I have the new Gem, the new Archie versus Predator, the new my selection.
The new Time Masturbator, please.
Time Masturbator, please.
So the one little tidbit I'll give you is
Kaiju Max.
Yeah, Kaiju Max. The one little tidbit I'll give you is when the girl comes up with it and goes through her life. It's a thing where a lot of the other things in her life are really shitty. So she calls this frozen time the quiet.
Sure.
It's the one time where she can just be on her own and collect her thoughts and get through.
Move inside the frozen time?
Yeah, and then eventually, I'm not. That's part of the story thing, right? And then, when she meets up with the guy that does it, he's like, "You call it the quiet?" Yeah. Why? What do you call it? And it cuts back to him looking at his first porn shop, and it's called Cum World. And he's like,
Nothing. I don't want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, roll with that.
That's pretty funny.
No, and I went through the Bossy Pants Tina Fey book that came out a while ago.
Okay.
And the Sarah Silverman, The Bedwetter books, both of which are hilarious and good, and you should check them out.
Okay.
They're good books.
Do you own them?
Yeah, I bought them.
So maybe I'll borrow them, yeah.
Good stuff. And that's perfect, reading material for 6 to 8 hour bus rides.
Yeah, I guess so.
What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Do nothing.
Okay.
Yeah,
This week I was really busy, so I didn't get to play as many games as I wanted, unfortunately. Especially not The Witcher, which I would.
How much Nep did you play, motherfucker?
I played
Tell this story that we were walking out of the fucking.
We're walking out of the place. We're walking out of the place, and Pat's like, "So you played The Witcher?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I played it for 3 hours." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I played way more Neptunia U. It's so good. I really,
and I go,
really like it."
What? Didn't you just spend last week shitting all over those kinds of games?
But no.
You've both been building up The Witcher 3 for a month now.
And then this guy goes, yeah, but I like them. Those games are different. I like this Nep game. And I go, fuck you piece of shit.
And then you ran away.
I ran away.
And you ran away. I got some time in the new Neptunia.
Fuck you!
It's a spin-off. It's an action game. It's fun. I like it. It's camp shit.
Calls it Nep.
Nep. She's Nep.
How much time are you saving?
None.
By saying Nep.
None.
Just say Neptunia.
When you have a friend, you call him the nickname. Matt McMuscles.
That's longer than just saying Matt.
That's not
Yeah,
real.
well, when you have a friend with a nickname.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have many friends that have cool nicknames.
I know you don't.
Do any of us know anyone named Tink?
I know a guy named... I know a guy named the Yellow Dart.
Yeah.
But yeah, this week was all just moving, so I was just moving furniture.
You moved
cleaning
in?
up my whole apartment. No, my
into
girlfriend
his
moved
office.
in.
But
so.
she's moved in now.
She's moved in now.
Yeah,
the apartment's
congrats,
still a mess. There's still boxes everywhere, but whatever, it's done.
I remember all our boxes, they stuck around for 2 months. Until
I have boxes in my home that I've never unpacked because I found out after moving in that I don't have enough bookcases for these books. So these books are going to stay packed.
Exactly.
I got the most beautiful mahogany bookcases this weekend.
Mahogany.
Gorgeous. They're right to the ceiling. They're the tallest bookshelves I've ever had. I can barely reach the top shelf. They're amazing.
Gotta be careful loading those in. They don't get too top heavy.
They took hours to get into the apartment. It was a fucking nightmare.
Well, it's not a good bookshelf unless it's a size that will sufficiently kill you if it falls on you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when you know it's a
heavier
good
than a
case.
That's when
fridge.
you know
Crazy
you're
shit.
safe.
All bookshelves would kill me.
Yeah, it's true. Even
As a kid, I had bookshelves on the other
books.
side of my bed, and I was always terrified of them falling on me.
Watch out for that paperback, Pat.
But I had a chance.
It cuts.
I had a chance to sit down and play all of Burning Rangers, which I really
What?
enjoyed.
Yeah.
It was
Nice.
What were you
super
asking
fun.
me about? You were
What a
saying,
fucking-
"Oh yeah, you wanted the
I borrowed
Saturn
the
cart
action
thing.
replay for the Saturn, so I
Yeah,
could
that
actually
game
play
uses
it.
the
You
Saturn
need-
analog
you
Because
need-
I have a Japanese disc, because
Yeah.
the English disc is like $100-something.
So how's Burning Rangers?
It's interesting.
What's
it's
it
kind
about?
of rough. It's by Sonic Team, and of course they never
It's
actually.
the firefighters game.
No, but for the fucking listeners.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
it's by Sonic Team.
There's a legit chance you don't know what that is.
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course.
To be fair.
It's by Sonic
I had
Team,
a Saturn.
who famously made 3 Saturn games, but
Too
no
busy
Sonic
with- yeah,
games
no
on the
Sonic
Saturn.
games,
It's really good. It's a third-person action game where you play as space firemen, and you go in and you turn out the space fires and you save people, and you sometimes save dolphins and orca whales.
And let's not think about the fact that you're putting out space fire.
Yeah, let's not
space fire is a real thing.
All of that shit fucking lit on fire.
You ever see the sun?
Big fireball.
It's got to be one of the most impressive Saturn games.
Does it make sounds
like,
too?
Graphically, it's really impressive.
Dude, fire de facto makes noise, no matter where it is, because it has to have something to burn, which means there's a medium.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you see an explosion in space in a movie, go fuck yourself.
No, you're not supposed to hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, silent as the night.
It's a really good game.
You ever see the sun?
But I have like one big gripe with it. It uses the circle controller.
The analog one for the Saturn.
Circle Pad Pro.
But it only uses it in 8 directions, which is like just as good as a D-pad. Is that standard for that thing?
That thing has no standards.
No.
I don't think it was
that
true.
Thing worked.
It wasn't true analog.
Okay.
That thing,
N64 was the first true
I
analog.
assumed it would have at least 16 directions.
Dude, that thing is like,
and I was really bummed by that.
That thing was only even used by like knights and burning rangers and like
a handful of games. Yeah, it was really fun to play through. I don't think it emulates well, so good luck.
You know, there's well more than enough for like a firefighting week. I'm shocked at the amount of firefighting
we've had the discussion.
And good ones.
Didn't I already pitch it to you and buy all the games?
I don't know if you guys know this
discussion.
I bought a bunch of them.
But firefighters are like huge heroes.
I didn't even care about firefighting.
But we've talked about this already.
Yeah.
It's
not on
camera.
Because we don't usually spoil it, but alright, I guess that's out there.
Putting out a fire is a noble pursuit.
I'm just saying.
There's no weird ethical conundrum to putting out fucking fires.
Hey, guess what? WrestleMania 2 is coming out. Everyone knows.
Only if the week ends in Backdraft.
That's not true. No one knew.
We gotta watch Backdraft.
Everyone knew.
So, like, the game's really good. I'll lend it to you if you want to play it.
Sentient fire.
You'll play through it once. It's 4 missions and you're done.
There's some movie where they're like, the fire is thinking, shut the fuck up, suck my dick.
He just
said it.
It's like
it just goes in one ear.
Not
it's
Backdraft.
like nothing
Not
happens.
Backdraft. I heard you say Backdraft. There's something else aside from that where like the fire is thinking, oh, Firestorm with Howie Long or whatever. The football guy, Firestorm. Shut up, Wooly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I played Puzzle & Dragons Z and Puzzle & Dragons Super Mario Edition.
How are those?
Puzzle & Dragons Z is fun. It's great. It's really enjoyable. They added a lot of shit to it that just isn't in the mobile game, like a story and
there's no mobile shit
stuff.
Anywhere because it's
exactly. The Super Mario Brothers one is built off the back of that, so they put new art in and they improved it a little bit.
This is the same
thing. But they stripped out the story and the exploration, so it's now just a like dry level based thing with really ugly Mario art. But ugly new Super Mario Bros. art.
It's the 3D stuff that's like flattened to be like sprite-ish, right?
But it's ugly.
You can clearly see it's 3D. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that Z is the winner of the package.
Z is the easy winner of the package, and it's a bummer because the demo on the eShop is only the Mario side. But
well, I mean, it makes more sense to do that.
It makes way more sense. Like people will buy it for Mario and not for that. It's good if you want to play a good modern puzzle game because we don't get many of them anymore. It's
freed from the shackles of mobile.
Yeah, exactly. I'm super happy. I read this fucking post on the internet that made me throw up the other day.
What? A post on the internet made you upset?
I know. Talking about mobile games and like their sales and stuff in the media create threads. And this one guy, Neuralac, you know that guy, right?
Yeah, I know Neuralac.
He made this post about how like if Terra Battle wants to do better, they have to have another pull event soon. And I was like, oh my god, kill yourself for saying that.
Event?
It's the events where it's like, yeah, now you can randomly get this super rare guy by doing the gacha a million times.
Yeah!
And it's like, just kill yourself for even suggesting that a company make more money by just, like, squirting more scum into the game. Like, fuck off.
More scum.
I'm so depressed, yeah.
For life.
And the Japanese market's at a low that it hasn't hit since 2004, and ooh.
It sucks because Terra Battle still has like the really solid, awesome art style that I love from Mistwalker, just in a package I don't care for.
No, it has really good art, but they invited a guest artist on who did some old Sonic stuff, and he put in some terrible crossover art.
Well, of course.
Sorry, speaking of Mistwalker...
It's not even Sonic, it's original monsters. They're just terrible.
Speaking of Mistwalker and awesome art, just sorry to interrupt, but did you guys catch that the one-on-one game that we played, the artist is actually Takehiko Inoue, The guy that draws fucking Vagabond.
I thought when you put it the thumbnail art, it looked familiar, but I couldn't catch it.
Speaking of which, did you catch? That's just a simple series game.
I totally, I didn't know. That's the thing. I didn't know what that was.
It's a budget. It's a budget.
You just held it up and went, "What is this?"
They have a number next to the name, and that's the price of the game.
Yep.
Simple.
I tried wikiing it, couldn't find a wiki entry on it, and just went through threads to go, "What is this series?"
Yeah,
thing?
no, I get you. Yeah.
So
we've got a couple. We've got Project Minerva and. The gun shooting in the background.
This is the basket. Everything is something.
I have two.
Well, there was Earth Defense Force and Onechanbara came out of that, and now they're their own giant multi-billion AAA industries.
$1 billion franchises.
Yeah,
it's great to sound like we know what we're talking about after the video goes live, and everyone tells us what it's about.
This is the best part.
That's how we do it. That's how we coast.
You want a good fucking bunch of somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about?
Listen to Pat.
Hey. So, Wooly,
hey,
my statements on Superman have been well known and documented that I don't like Superman.
Okay.
Have they been reinforced?
Before you go anywhere, just pause.
Before I go anywhere.
2 questions.
What's the question?
Did you read All-Star Superman?
He did.
Is that what this is about?
Yes.
Okay.
What's question 2?
2, did you read it leaning back going, all right, impress me? Or did you read it going, comic book?
No, hold on. Man, Liam just doesn't...
Just to know. Just to frame where you're coming from.
I had a whole setup here. My thoughts on Superman are known. I think he's boring. I hate him.
Okay.
Right? And I don't know pretty much anything about Superman's world or anything like that isn't Batman or...
You know a lot about Bizarro.
Yeah, sure, and Crypto the Superdog and shit like that. So, last week... we had a discussion about how I was hating on DC or whatever. It's like, what do you guys want from me? What do you want? Do you want me to read the things that everyone tells me to read, and then for me to not like them? Will that make you happy? And then a little bit of I don't know what tipped me off, but there was some comment somewhere that was like, fuck it, fine.
It was a conversation with a Twitter guy.
Everyone tells me to fucking read All-Star Superman. Fine. Fuck you, I'm gonna read All-Star Superman.
That attitude already makes me go...
Oh!
But
what?
No, it's fine, it's continuing.
Is that not good enough for you either?
That's totally okay.
So, I went and I read it all in like that, because it's not long. I sat down and I read it like that, no problem.
One sitting easy.
And All-Star Superman is a pretty fun Superman story that I enjoyed the read.
Yay!
It's super weird, and that's where what I want out of this just the ultimate in
I know it's getting to a place.
super weird. And what I mentioned last week about the one panel I've ever seen that makes me like Superman.
I can't hear Pa's heartbeat.
Yeah, and he's I can save him. I can save everyone.
Yeah,
that's the one time that Superman, from all the stuff I've seen, acts like an actual goddamn human being. And then, not like a godlike Christ figure.
And then a few pages later, when the bandages come off.
Okay, so
right,
I liked All-Star Superman. I think it was a fun comic to read. More than anything, though, it has made me hate Superman more than anything.
Okay,
Superman is everything in Superman's world exists to make Superman more boring. Everything about him is boring. Everything he does is boring. Oh, I'm so perfect. I beat these 2 guys in the arm wrestling competition. I created life to fucking... I'm perfect in every way, in every situation, no matter what. I always did the right thing. I planned for myself to die and come back at just this moment, and he sucks so bad. He's so horrible. Jimmy Olsen, however, is awesome.
Sure.
Lex Luthor is the greatest ever. So, I don't think All-Star Superman was trying for this. But there are huge portions of that story in which Supes is telling Lex, hey man, do whatever, or save the world, or fine, you win, or just whatever, Lex. Mm-hmm. And Lex's response is continuously to go, fuck you, Superman.
Yes.
Fuck your shit,
yeah.
You alien piece of garbage. You ruined the whole Earth. And
you fucked with our destiny.
Time I'm like, yeah, Lex, you tell him. Lex is so right. Lex is so right about Superman.
Okay, because the thing is that I'm like, there's a moment where you're like, for two things happen when you read this book, right? And it's like, you either get what they're trying to do or you don't, because it's quietly, right? Frank Quietly. And it's like, the way you open it up and you have your, Doom's planet, baby savior, Earth, Smallville, like, we know, move on.
Everyone knows.
Right? And then you get right into it, and it's like, so there's this fucking space colony with Project, and like this fucker in a Technicolor Dreamcoat, and just the weirdest batshit crazy shit.
Absolutely.
From the Golden Age era.
All things are canon.
Right? And they're not shying away from this weird old shit. Yeah. They're embracing it and making it all about that.
I can appreciate that, and I did.
And people either reject that and go, this is fucking stupid.
No, I love that.
Or you just buy it.
That was my favorite part.
Okay.
It's like when they the old Bruce Timm's Batman show where they did the fucking flashback, the mix and match episode, where they had the old Joker and stuff like that. I love that shit.
Embracing all the stupid stuff.
But Clark, as a character, is so boring. He's so boring. Every person around him is more interesting than him. Crypto is more interesting. Ma and Pa Kent are so much more interesting. Jimmy Olsen and Lois and fucking Perry White and whoever the fuck Lombardo is. I don't know who that guy is.
Sure.
They are so much more interesting. Zabaro is more interesting than fucking Superman.
Sure.
Because Superman is perfect and normal and does no wrong and always knew everything to do in every situation. And I can't stand him. Every page that Lex was on
but you know what it is, though?
I'll read Lex Luthor comics now.
But you know what it is, though? Here's what it is. What's going on there? Oh, okay, you're good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
What it is this, right? Superman in a room with any of those characters, you can have a scene. In a room by himself, you have no scenes, right?
Yeah.
Chrono, in a room by himself, do you have a scene? No.
No.
Right? But Chrono, surrounded by the Chrono Trigger cast,
sure,
you get one of the greatest fucking adventures ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? It's that type of story.
Yeah, but Chrono doesn't suck.
But
exactly.
Superman doesn't suck. But
he sucks!
But the ensemble is definitely what makes
they make it,
right? And in the same sense that Superman is like the guy that's like, I can fucking solve the problems, but the other characters that surround me are what make this a good story.
Then why is it when I played Chrono Trigger, I wasn't going, I hate Chrono so much! Because I do with Superman.
You didn't spend your childhood with everybody in the world going off about Chrono for every issue that would come out every week.
So terrible.
Your life was the
most interesting thing Superman ever did was die.
Your life has been filled with Superman. Your life has not been filled with Chrono. You have one memory of that from being a kid.
There's two interesting things.
But do you see the parallel?
Yeah, I see it. But there are two interesting things that Superman can do. Go evil, at which point he's always interesting when he's evil, because that character makes more sense than the character that he is. Or die.
Yeah.
Those are the only two interesting things that he can actually do.
What's the most interesting thing Chrono ever did?
Save the world from Lavos.
Die.
Yeah.
In a really awesome way.
No, I'd say the most interesting thing he did was like come back to life.
If Chrono Trigger came out,
out
in the 40s,
and you've been hearing about all your friends, and there's been T-shirts of his Chrono Trigger fucking mop head on everyone's chest, and people are getting Chrono Trigger tattoos. You know what I mean? You see, it's that type of thing. It's not garbage, dude. It's a different
kind
of comic,
like Ryu in Breath of Fire.
But the writing is what makes it.
But the writing makes me hate Superman more. Every page is me hating Superman more, because every page is him succeeding at something perfectly. Every single page. He didn't stub his fucking toe wrong unless it was on purpose when he was Clark Kent. Like, Superman's perfection is my problem.
Okay.
And that's why I think Lex is so amazing, because that's his problem too.
Like, Superman's flaw is that he's too perfect. That's not a trait that Chrono
obviously
it
came from a time when all that you needed was a man to be awesome to sell a comic book.
At the time,
that's why his character should have never made it past 1960.
And that's why I disagree, and I say I think that a good writer that takes that premise and makes it fun to read.
Is the guy who wrote All-Star Superman a good writer?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. there are scenes in All-Star Superman in which Superman is not on the page. Those are awesome.
Okay,
they're great.
I totally...
instant Superman walks into the thing, he's going to perfectly solve the problem.
I totally, I know, but the thing is that, I find that knowing that means that that's, part of the story is kind of about that.
Superman's boring?
No, not Superman's boring, but, he has a solution, but what else is happening here? You know, and
why is he even in the page? Shouldn't he just be off solving the problem while we look at interesting things?
Well, it's not always as clean cut as that, obviously, because you've got the time shit that gets involved at a point.
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
it's not just the saving of the day, because in many cases he saves the day in one punch, but it's the emotional aspect of what's happening, or the conversation that's happening.
Superman has the one emotional moment, and everything else is man, I'm the best.
Well,
I'm the best.
Well, look, I'm not going to tell you, hey, you should like a character you don't like.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
But I do think that...
Did you ever know anyone in school that was perfect?
Well, no one's perfect.
No, but appeared perfect. The person who had perfect grades was the top. Was super popular.
I did.
Was super hot.
Awesome girl that gets perfect straight A's
and was
basketball team.
Did everything correctly.
Yeah, sure.
How much did you hate them?
I didn't hate
them.
Okay, see, this is where it comes from. I hated them. I wanted them to fucking get blasted off to space every day.
Well, but it's
because the perfect person demeans your life by existing.
So you are Lex.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
But I also
Lex is super successful. He's a billionaire.
But do you think then, if that perfect person didn't exist, that you would have been in that spot? Because Lex's whole deal is, if you weren't around, I would have been mankind's savior.
I wouldn't have been.
It's coming from this fucked up...
I wouldn't
you know
have,
what I mean?
No, it's not that you would be in that spot, but if the number one person could be at least somebody that had perceptible flaws, I could live with it.
You think you're Krillin saying, fuck off, Goku!
No.
Get off our planet, alien!
It's my issue with people that don't have perceptible flaws.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have any perceptible flaws and appear to be perfect, I don't trust you.
Yeah, but you can just make him shave with, kryptonite gel.
Sure.
So he does have flaws.
I know this is Pat.
And it's
Batman's screwed up and horrible. And he fucks up all the time.
To nail the perfection point home, the story starts with him getting even more invincible.
I know!
Sorry, Liam.
I was so happy at the beginning of that story when it's he's double perfect, and then you cut back to Lex going, gonna die in 3 weeks. High five, everyone! Right? I did it.
Better not shoot me with that kryptonite laser. That's dangerous. Oh wait, it did nothing.
I haven't read All-Star Superman, but I've read a bunch of other just individual Superman comics. And the thing I really dislike about Superman is writers have such a challenge writing Superman because they have to think of a smart way to make a Superman comic interesting.
And if you're a good writer, you can. I
resent that. Because you could spend the same amount of time making an original story more interesting.
So that's part of my bigger problem is that
I think that people
I wish Superman would just
but you're not.
That's
those
an
people.
Easy way. That's an easy way out.
People are choosing.
I'm going to take my easy story. I'd see a writer going, I want to be challenged by making an interesting story.
Every sequel to every game you like could have been an original game that was totally unique.
But those are games.
But the people creating them chose to work on it because they wanted to. So if people want to,
Wooly, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I hate how there's this character who's been around for 70 years. Who people keep trying to take cracks at.
And this is my longer running thing. With
if it was Beautiful Joe 2, I get you. And you're like, well, they could have done something different. And it's but they chose to do the second one. This is Superman 5000.
Of course.
Yeah, that's being generous. And that's my bigger thing with comics is I read the manga Full Metal Alchemist and I loved it. You know why? Because it started, it fucking went, and it ended. And it was over.
Yeah, but then it continues.
No.
Anyway, I just think
the franchise is not dead.
It
still continues on. No, I mean that there's still going to be adaptations and stuff and merch and things. It doesn't go away.
I just think
it's done though.
But there's no new Full Metal Alchemist stories.
Yeah, but there could be.
But there aren't. Is the point that he's getting at?
Could be.
But there are.
But there could be
play the games that have completely different stories.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a thing that just stops and ends. You can say that it does, and you're technically correct. But then you can spin off into a whole bunch of other.
Yes, we are technically correct.
Okay, I'm just saying that I feel that the the writing about an invincible person, like you're writing about a god, trying to tell a story about a god is very difficult, and I think that, like, that's kind of what I appreciate in the good, well-written Superman stories. And in the bad ones, you get fucking horseshit, because it's just not, it's boring.
I'm gonna save the day, I'm gonna punch him really hard, I'm gonna punch him.
The people that are writing about him kind of don't realize that you need
they just don't succeed
elements
for whatever reason.
Exactly, and the thing is that there's other comics out there where you have similarly omnipotent characters, but they're amazing comics. Do you know Sandman?
But it's like I would rather read the
you know DC Sandman.
Really. I know. The name,
Sandman is fucking legendary. He's nigh invincible in most of the issues you read with him, and it's like it's still interesting because of what's happening outside of this character.
Yeah.
It's like the character is almost like a force as opposed to a person.
No, that does sound really interesting.
And the thing is that there, and you have different types of stories that address characters in these ways where it's like, omnipotence is here, but then what?
No, that sounds really interesting.
So,
but, when did Sandman end?
Well,
did it end?
Yes.
Then that's inherently more interesting.
And All-Star Superman ended. Right?
No, this is an argument I tried to have with you, and you ignored everything I said.
No.
Runs are they are not self-contained. Okay. Superman started that fucking 40 whatever, and it continues to exist to this day.
Is Spectacular Spider-Man the same as Amazing Spider-Man? Same as every other run of Spider-Man?
After a certain point, yes.
No,
Willie's absolutely right here. Runs are all different, because I still think.
And here's what it comes down to: is that a writer and an artist sit down and create an arc or a closed book or whatever it is, and it begins and it ends.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And the Ultimates, as the Avengers, for example, began and ended and is a self-contained Avengers story that we go, hey, this is awesome, read this. Right? Those characters, because they're Marvel characters, will continue to show up in Marvel Comics in different things.
Yeah, of course.
But readers of comics know. No one's acting as if it's a giant timeline that's going forward and it's not writers coming in. Well, no, but now you're doing your own thing. I'm telling you the reason why people like these things and go, oh, that's not shit, that's pretty good, is because writers and artists come together and make a contained thing. And it's a self-standing piece of work.
Writers and artists should make their own characters.
So, like,
they did. It's called Image. It was awful.
So we can't keep going with this because this is going to take too long.
What about JoJo?
What about
Berserk?
But like.
So does all fiction need to be exactly the same?
No.
That's not what he's saying.
No. Hold on.
Everything needs to start and end.
No, you just made up a narrative there.
No, it's not that. No. Here's the thing. Here's the problem, dude. Pat, you're totally right about the fact that it's like when you have a guided direction, you get something awesome with that. But unfortunately, the mainstream comic books industry in the West and the manga industry develop different paths. And I wish that you could have a dude sit down and just make a manga because you know that guy's fucking good and you can trust him. But unfortunately, the mangaka own their characters and their worlds and everything, whereas the characters are owned by the company. And it develops two different industries where the fiction is treated differently.
Yes, and
it's unfortunate.
And all I say is that the comic version of that I think is terrible.
Well, and but here's the thing: no one will ever tell you this character is awesome, like implying every issue that has ever come out is a great read, and you need to sit and read them all.
Of course,
people always tell you go read this trade or this run or this contained story because that's where the quality comes out. If someone tells you James Bond is very cool, right? If someone recommends you a James Bond thing, are they telling you to literally go back and read every single James Bond book and watch every movie?
But I think the point
here... Well, I think you split the movies and the books, but in that case, yes. I've seen almost every James Bond movie.
But are they telling you, hey, check out this one story, or check out this contained thing? That's what it kind of comes down to.
I think we've deviated a bit from the point, which is just Superman's too fucking perfect, and he's not... I don't enjoy reading him, and he's not like Chrono. And James Bond is more interesting than Superman because he fucks up and he's not perfect. And he gets caught in death traps with lasers coming to his...
And here's my wrench in the works is I'm going to say Superman is not a character, he's a genre. X-Men are a genre.
Mutants.
I think that's a reach.
No, but like if you think about it, like this is a category that has different entries of stories underneath it. You kind of see what I'm approaching here.
No, you're right, Wooly.
This character is just a label that has multiple stories underneath it.
You know what, Wooly? You're right. You can win an argument if you just change what words mean.
Okay. All right.
This character is a character.
It's clearly
he's
not.
A type of story.
I'm talking about the mentality. I'm talking
did
about
you
the mentality.
do anything else in your week,
dude? Yeah, I'm just talking about the mentality and like
no,
why.
it's just you're fighting. Like Pat says, he doesn't like something,
which is okay.
Fighting him to make his opinion.
The first thing I said.
That's what Matt's doing.
No, the first thing I said.
Chrono thing.
Okay, no, Liam, come on. But just now I said I don't want to tell you, hey, don't have that opinion. Like that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I am saying that like the view on how comics go on forever and it's just bullshit and stuff is like, yeah, you can look at things and kind of go, JoJo is one guy and it's his team and they're going to have a consistency to it.
Yeah.
And sadly, Western comics just don't fucking have that. But
okay, that's all I wanted.
And that's it. Yeah, no.
That's all I wanted.
And
is that you said sadly you can't get that in Western comics.
No, you're right. It sucks.
Okay.
And that's
because that's all that's happening is that I take my opinion of this is the way to do it and that's average and the bad way to do it is awful and you take it as like, oh, this is preferred and this is unfortunate but can't be good.
It's shitty, but you pick and choose the good shit.
Yeah.
And then you get some good shit. That's what comics have been since before.
Like remember you're talking to someone who can't watch Doctor Who because the old episodes are gone.
If someone said to me, tomorrow X-Men will be finished, I'll be like, that sucks. Because it's such an analogy that's perfect for every generation of people being outcast. And I think it fucking is awful if someone goes, I wish it just ended.
You say that about a bunch of shit.
You don't think that new things could ever be as good as X-Men?
I think when the analogy is so perfect that outcasts are ostracized from society, I think it sucks if that ends. Because that's applicable in almost every generation.
If I had my world, if I had my absolute perfect world, I would like a world where... Professor X. I'd like a world.
I just think it's really short-sighted.
I would like a world.
You ask for stuff to stop all
these things have been around for.
What have I asked for? What?
Capcom.
Capcom what?
Period. You asked for them to shut and Sega
short-sighted
and like a bunch of
all
Sega
the characters
games
we've
in
been
the
talking
past.
about have
Don't do that to me. You've said this. Wait,
all the characters we have discussed today have existed before any of us were born.
I think that like in an ideal world,
how can it possibly be short-sighted?
The X-Men that we grew up with and knew and love would kind of hit a closed arc, and then new X-Men would come about in a sort of JoJo chapter 1 to 2 to 3.
That's the ultimate.
In a perfect world, it would be like this is the legacy. So like. If you see and when people think about like Wolverine or Phoenix or those moments, they think about like the things they did at that peak, and you don't sort of have the diluting of quality of shit writers, right? It would be nice to not have the pool corrupted in an ideal world, but knowing that doesn't happen, and knowing that
human nature,
and knowing that we still like comic books, well, to some degree. I mean, we're not as hardcore about it as we are about video games. I think it's like we're stuck with a world where we have to pick and choose what's good. And I think as long as we continue to do that, we can enjoy what we read. Wolverine Origin, you go read that, and then you read Wolverine the End, for example. And Wolverine the End. Wolverine the End is a piece of shit. It's fucking awful.
Wouldn't it be nice if every Wolverine story was good and all followed one centralized timeline?
It would.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would.
I'm asking Matt specifically.
I guess, but when a character is created in like the 70s, it's not going to happen.
And that's unfortunate.
In America. I
guess.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to think of like another character that's like maybe something European, perhaps, where like
Tintin.
The character is
our knowledge doesn't hit Europe very well.
Yeah, but like a character handled by multiple people. Yeah. You know what I mean? But not within a Western comic book structure. Also, issues coming out as in like little issues as the equivalent of a giant tankobon, where you'd get like multiple things, whatever. Or
sorry to take up so much time with this.
But I'm actually it's an interesting discussion, I think, because it's totally true. But I just think, though, at the same time, if your conclusion becomes, therefore, fuck comics, that's crazy.
Well,
and that's silly.
The inability to get a complete story bothers me immensely.
I think if you treat, I think like the best way to enjoy it is to treat it like any other medium where like friends go, yo, check out this anime, yo, check out this movie, yo, check out this read.
But I just want to to Matt, your point, to Daredevil, for example, right? There's a bunch of stuff, like the opening of that Daredevil comic that I read, I liked it just fine, but referenced huge amounts of events of Daredevil getting turned into like a zombie the fucking evil ninja and all sorts of shit. Yeah.
What's a good movie or TV series where it's like you could tell people check this thing out, but you have like a million asterisks to give them about
What do you mean?
Like, okay, get into Star Trek. But keep in mind that...
Just watch original series, TNG, and Deep Space Nine, and then stop.
Well, but you know what I mean? You kind of go like, okay, well then there's Voyager, and then there's Enterprise.
Well, see, no, with
the movies,
with TNG,
which movies are good?
With TNG,
which movies
it's
are bad?
easy because you just stop. You watch them up until a date in time, and then you just stop.
And I thought about it, and I'm like, though Star Trek it's a bit like both, but it's closer to JoJo in that sense, and you can kind of go, well, just don't read that chapter, or whatever. But I can't really think of a perfect parallel with it.
And Gene Roddenberry died at some point.
Of course, because he wrote Earth Final Conflict, and that just took the life out of him.
War.
And unfortunately, Miss Roddenberry has also passed, which means that the amount of new Star Trek fiction that can be created is very limited, as the voice of the computer now has said everything that the computer is ever going to say.
But
so did you read Tech War?
I did not read Tech War.
All right, well, then what else did you do?
I played FF14. Nobody wants to hear about it, so I'm just going to skip over it.
Are you excited for Heaven's Word?
I'm extremely excited for Heaven's
coming
Word.
out next month.
And I know it's not in the show notes because it's news that no one would care about, but it was really funny to watch the live letter about, hey, we're going to do flying mounts. It's going to be so cool. And like 3 days later, World of Warcraft announces flying mounts screwed up the game. We're gonna never make any more flying areas.
Okay, hold on a second. I just need to make a note of the time, because I actually want to let people know that we talk about comics for a while. If you totally don't want to hear it,
if you actually like comics, skip this
I
whole
apologize
thing.
to anyone that's annoyed by that. Let's jump.
Takeaway:
this
Superman sucks. Lex Luthor and Jimmy Olsen are radical.
Yeah. I like the...
Would you read a series that was specifically just super dickery stories?
Absolutely.
I would as well.
Absolutely. And All-Star Superman was close, but not quite.
Oh, really?
Like, how rock hard did you get at Jimmy Olsen Doomsday?
It was great. It was fucking dumb super watch. Oh, it's great.
I like that there was a lot of World of Warcraft fans saying it was good that they were stopping the flying thing going forward because it removed a lot of the challenge in the new area.
Yeah, so the explanation they used for that is that they would design levels and, well, you used to have to break a prisoner out of a camp, but now you just fucking pop your mount, fly in, grab the guy and leave.
So, like, I read quite a few accounts of people saying, yeah, this is going to be a good change, which interested me because I thought it was going to be universally negative.
No, and the problem with that is that it started in Burning Crusade, and they built those levels around being able to fly.
And that makes a lot of sense.
And then they never built levels around being able to fly ever again, but still let you fly. So all their levels would be shit after that. And with Heaven's Word, what they're going to do is you're going to have to sync up to a bunch of places, so you'll have to have completely explored the area anyway before you can fly, and then you need to fly to get to high up stuff. And they're going to design areas like that.
At the time of Burning Crusade, you had to be, like, capped out to get that shit, right?
Pretty much.
And so, like, you had to beat the game.
It was a hell of a reward.
And now it's midway through your...
now you get it at the start of the game. Which is level 70.
Okay.
And like, take Cataclysm, like, where they redid the whole world, like, you could fly really, really early in Cataclysm, and, like, they did not design any of the fucking new leveling world around being able to fly. So that problem was rampant. It was crazy bad. But yeah, Heaven's Word looks like it's gonna split up. So yeah, just stats. I'm I-108, and I have a 30 alt as well. I got 2 level 30 alts now.
Good job. You're doing it.
And the free company is now huge. It's now super huge. There's like almost 200 people in it. So, whoa. Fucked up. That game's really good. What can I say? It's fucking amazing. As for other video games that I actually put time into, I played a lot of The Witcher.
Oh, of course.
Liam, you played at least a little. Talk to me at least a little.
I played a couple hours. First thing I did was jump off the balcony. First thing I did.
And discovered that,
Gerald's fall damage.
Okay, you can't keep saying Gerald's.
Gerald.
It's Geralt, man.
Gerald's fall damage.
Okay,
I like Gerald better.
Okay,
Gerald.
God damn it, Jerry.
So this is something that's driven me crazy for the longest time, and I remember when the Tomb Raider was coming out, like a lot of people were calling her Lara or Laura.
Yeah.
And it drove me nuts because it was whatever. It's some video games person's name. It's like, no, this is a name that is real.
Yeah.
That exists.
Yeah.
And Geralt probably is a name that exists in Poland as well.
Anyway, at the beginning of The Witcher 3,
you jump off that balcony.
Jeremy is fucking fragile, and he can't take nothing.
Geralt's fall damage is some absurd cartoon shit.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. You fucking die if you fall the length of your body.
All right, here we go. Molyneux game design.
It's crazy.
A Jumpman game where your own jump height kills you.
Yeah.
How does one jump?
Liam and
you can hold A forever, But
you'll die.
Liam and I
Mighty
were,
Bomb Jack if you took fall damage.
Liam and I were talking about like a specific ridge near a banded fort in the early game
where you just fall off.
It looks like a 3-foot fall, and you fall off, and like 90% of your life is gone, and it's just what the fuck. That starts to go away as you level, and guess what? Outside that first zone, drops nearly disappear. Instead, you just start to slide down areas.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Boy, that game is shiny. Wooly, you asked me a while ago, when you first got your PC, what game to put in it to make it go shiny, pretty nice game.
Benchmarking.
It's this one.
If he can run it, it's really high. It's really demanding, isn't it?
It's not that demanding.
I thought it was very demanding.
My computer can run.
What's your card?
You know this.
It's a 716.
No, don't mess with the things.
It was in the
it can run it.
It was in the first 0th percentile of systems out there.
So it's not a 970. It's probably like a 780 or something like that. Yeah, you'll play it just fine.
I'm fine.
It is the fucking most gorgeous game I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. Games like where do I start on this? Fuck. So imagine if Skyrim had really good writing and good combat like that.
Leave all the other menial shit in, but that
they've actually fully succeeded on the actual choices actually mattering. This is the first game that I've actually of this scope that's actually done it. Mm-hmm. So I'll give an early example that isn't too spoilerish. You go into a bar and dudes hassle you, and your options are fuck them up, say something to back off, or just let it roll off you, right? And the bartender's going, man, can you not? Can you just
quit doing
calm
this shit?
down?
Yeah.
And you go, fine. You tell them you're a Witcher, and they all go, and they back off, right? And he goes, man, thanks. I appreciate you not causing trouble in my bar. As you're about to walk away from them, it turns out that they're the local Baron's men, and they start telling a story, and it is the most disgusting story I have heard in a game in a long time. And it is how they're going house to house looking for farmers' daughters. And how one of the local farmers, dressed one of his daughters up like a boy, I think. Haha, I showed him, though. And I'm immediately awash with, I should have killed these guys. These guys are pieces of shit. They're fucking awful. Fine, whatever. I do the story thing in the bar. I leave. Dudes are going door to door in the town doing this now. At the moment. And unlike every other NPC in the game, you can draw your sword and kill them. So fuck it. They're all dead. You continue along with the main quest, only find out I can't even get into a city because those were this guy's dudes. And he's mad about it. So, okay, there's your change. There's the thing that actually changed. So I sneak in, I get into the fucking whatever, I continue the main quest. He's mad at me, but he'll forgive me, whatever. Continue on, find a bunch of dudes trying to burn down a guy's home. Okay, fine. I've caused enough problems, I'm going to try the calm route. Calm down, guys. What's wrong? Oh, he gave your buddy a medicine that made him sick? Okay, I know medicine. I'll help your buddy. It's like, how do you know medicine? It's like, I'm a Witcher. A Witcher, huh? So you're that guy that killed our boys. Okay, well, that side quest is gone now.
Why would
This
Jeremy...
is fucking written by Telltale?
Why would Jeremy tell
it's written by better
by
writers.
now that he's a Witcher?
What's that?
Why would he even give that information when he knows...
Because I chose to tell them to get them to back off because people are scared of Witchers.
Usually you want to use Jeremy's
I
mind
wonder,
control power.
if I had killed them but not said that I was a Witcher, would that second part of it change?
Every decision makes you feel bad. It doesn't matter.
And everyone in this game is a piece of shit.
Yeah, you said
they
that.
are pieces of shit. And the ones that I just described, they're not even the worst pieces of shit that I ran into.
You never make a decision in a game and find out that it helps you later like that? Or like, these guys
not as
love
often
you.
as you'd hope.
It is exclusively negative consequences, no matter what. And again, early in the game, it's like, oh man, my wife and daughter, they're disappeared. Yeah. And within 5 seconds, you're like, I have a strong suspicion I know why they disappeared, man. Is it because you beat your wife's baby out of her? Well, she pushes me. Motherfucker, dude, stop. But I need the thing, so I gotta do the thing. Mm-hmm. You get to the end of that, and you find one of the people.
Heavy shit, man.
You get to the end of that, you find one of them, you don't find the other. And the quest log changes to go find them. No, it changes to continue to exhaust leads. So just go around and solve missing persons cases that may have nothing to do with this, and eventually you may run into and find this person.
That's kind of weird, because isn't the pull of a lot of side quests being here's a side quest with a negative connotation, and here's one with a positive, and you choose which one you want to help out? But they're all pieces of shit?
It's not all black and white.
There's no good solution.
Right. Yeah, but there's no black and white.
Yeah,
it's all gray.
Okay.
It's all gray. And the writing it's so intense and it's so much shit and so harsh that Polish. I can't play it for very long periods of time because every hour you run into like the worst thing you have ever. It's like Berserk levels of just human evil.
The world is shit.
Yeah, the world is really, really, really shit.
I didn't even remember that in the second
Speaking
one.
of shit, I remembered why I stopped playing. The fucking UI is way too small.
It's too small. I'm playing on a giant TV.
I saw some posts about that.
It's really small.
Incredibly small.
Worse than Dead Rising?
Yeah. Oh, fix that shit. It's not good.
Yeah, it's made for a monitor.
Dead Rising was bad when you played it on a CRT because you couldn't read it. But when you were on HDTV, at least it worked, right?
Condemned 2.
No, actually, on an HDTV, it was still pretty bad.
I don't know
Dead
exactly
Rising
then,
was bad on
but
HDTV.
Regardless, The Witcher is it expects you to be 14 inches away from a monitor.
In the last patch, they increased the size of the loot screen, but nothing else.
Yeah,
but that was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to work on the others in time.
I hope they do.
Looks amazing, plays great. Is
there, no?
What's that?
Fan patch out
Not for
there?
Fan
PS4.
patches?
No.
Dude, this GOG. There's already been 3 patches on the game since last Monday.
Okay. Yeah.
But not on consoles, because CERT.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about consoles.
Yeah, but this is where it's becoming really obvious, because they're fixing a lot, and it's improving a lot.
Yeah.
But CERT.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's way behind. So amazing writing, amazing music, good combat, I wouldn't say great. It feels really weird. Moving Geralt around feels really weird. He moves like a car.
No,
like a horse.
Jeremy moves like a tank.
Yeah, it's super
He moves
weird.
like a nimble tank.
I like this
but still a
Jeremy
tank.
stuff.
There's a weird, super in-depth Hearthstone card game in that game.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's really good.
I wouldn't say as in-depth as Hearthstone.
No, it's not as in-depth as Hearthstone.
It's alright.
It's
yeah.
one baby step back from Hearthstone, but as a side quest in a big RPG like this, it's really, really good.
Triple Triad.
Triple Triad's great.
It's
boy.
more comparable.
Dead Man's Morris.
I don't know that one.
It's more comparable to Triple Triad.
Yeah,
than
the game from Assassin's Creed 3.
I don't know that one.
The one that only Wooly played.
I love that game.
They had 3 games in Assassin's Creed.
There was there was Dead Man's Morris. There was there was a couple.
Yeah, you played them all. I remember.
Spent a lot of time.
There's one storyline thing that I just find super weird because the first 2 games, Geralt had amnesia to make do for people that didn't read the books because they were never translated. Not all of them were even translated in English.
It's such a weird problem.
So they said, fuck it, Geralt's got amnesia, so the player has a clean slate, and everyone can explain to Geralt why he's dumb.
Would he remember that he had amnesia before?
So, by the end of Witcher 2 and beginning of Witcher 3, he's remembered all of it, which gives you an excuse to go find characters that he only knew in the books. And this is...
The pop fiction use of amnesia is so, Well,
there's magic involved, so free pass, right?
No, I know.
And so there's going to be a weird split of people who read the books and didn't read the books. Because in the books, Geralt has a long-time love interest with the main female character of this game called Yennefer.
Yep.
In the beginning of the game is go find her because, oh shit, I forgot, etc. But in the prior 2 games, people who played the games, the primary love interest was a character called Triss. And there was a long, it was a long romance for that, right? So now it's a situation.
Do you drive off with Meryl or you drive off with Hal?
So
which one do you love more?
So here's where it breaks, depending on whether or not you read the books or not.
Yeah, it was amazing.
If you read the books, it was clear that Yennefer was
the
the true love, and they went into space together or whatever, right? No, seriously, it's weird.
Sure.
But if you play the games, Triss is the only character that you actually know, and you probably grew to like Triss. So within 5 minutes of meeting Yennefer, Geralt asks, so we didn't break up. Why didn't you contact me over the years that you did not have amnesia, but I did? You never tried to write, you never called, basically.
You never
And her comeback is like, oh, I heard you and Triss made a wonderful couple. And he immediately responds with, dude, I had amnesia. I didn't know you existed.
Can't blame me
You
for
were
that.
you were in another dimension.
Okay, so let's
To be fair-
work the books into the
To
canon.
be fair, the female psyche will always still blame you.
And then she looks at him and goes, "Oh, so that's your excuse?"
See, there you go.
And then snaps her fingers and teleports a continent away. And Geralt's just left going, "What
was I supposed to do?
What the fuck?" They were on a break! They were on the most obvious amnesia-fueled dimension-spanning break ever! Fuck you! Holy shit!
It's hard to mend a relationship when she can teleport.
Holy shit!
Jeremy's problem is that he didn't use pro flowers.
Holy
man,
shit!
they can get anywhere. They can be there before the teleport finishes.
It's been a long time since I've been in a game
wizards.
in which a game told me this character is important, you should probably like this character, that I took such an instant dislike to based on these events.
On
and Triss is in the game, so that's going to go that way for sure.
All right,
I mean,
we look forward to the future adventures of Gary.
I only played 10
Gary
hours.
is the closest by far.
Gary Gergich.
Yeah.
I only played 10 hours Witcher 2, but I liked Triss up until that point, but I didn't play Witcher 1.
Triss is great.
So.
But
Triss is in there too, but she's the same character.
I'm only calling him Gary so that next week I can call him Larry.
Gary's great. I'll
Terry
take Gary.
after that.
I'll take Gary
Just
over...
devolve this
Just
shit.
keep evolving in the wrong way.
I will gladly take Gary over Geralt.
Well, you're not going to get Gary anymore.
Well, it's
that was the end of Gary.
Fantastic games. Like it and Bloodborne are fighting for Game of the Year in my head right now.
Okay.
Like early on.
Bloodborne is always on my periffs. I'm always about to press X.
Oh, I hope you keep playing it.
I really want to, but I always find
those new patch. They're going to add more chunks.
Yeah.
That's actually a little thing here. But I guess now we can throw this as
it's so sweaty in here.
This is the second podcast in the list of like longest weeks ever.
2 hours.
We've had one where we broke 2 hours.
It's not going to be bad next week because we're all going to roughly do the same thing. We're all going to the same place this weekend.
Yeah,
so.
but this...
It's like I happen to do a thing that obviously was going to spark lots of discussion.
Well,
you went to
no,
cool places.
I know.
There's not,
I enjoyed the talks, but I mean, sorry if that. Some people love it, some people hate it.
Yeah, some people are like.
it's
like,
different.
when they
It's a
go
mixed
to
bag.
game news, I stop.
And some people are like, I love go to the game
What's
news.
new in the news? Oh shit! Warriors are getting a DPS stance. Fucking sweet.
Well, let's just roll right in with as you're saying. We've got. Yeah.
I want to get something in real quick.
What's what
they
you got?
just announced, like, less than an hour ago, that Ayami Kojima will be doing special art for Bloodstained for the slipcover for the game if you're over the $100 tier.
Nice.
Which is fucking awesome. Because she was the one that was missing, that couldn't be contacted.
The one thing that always remains consistent with Castlevania is that even when I dislike the games, like say Curse of Darkness,
the art.
I'm like, the art is Curse of Darkness is fucking awesome.
Complete-ish, because you said slipcover art, not in-game art or anything like that yet.
Yeah, of course, but she never did in-game art. She only ever did concepts and stuff.
Well, yeah, but now you could, like with character portraits and conversations and things like that, you know.
But I mean, she missed a lot of Castlevanias.
Yeah,
like Order and Portrait and stuff.
That's a fucking get. That's a good get.
Super glad.
Job.
But yeah,
you lives through this shit.
She lives in the middle of a mountain.
So we can start off with you just talk about the Bloodborne patch that's coming. Fucking 600 vials and bullets now.
Oh, thank God.
That's so good.
What?
So Wooly,
you're now going to be able to store up to 600 vials and bullets in your storage.
Okay, in your storage.
Yeah.
So Wooly,
which is great because I constantly brush up against 99.
Yeah, and maxing out on bullets and then going to pick up bullets and like, oh, you have too many bullets.
It's like you're going to just go grind them out, right? So yeah.
You're not super like familiar with like the Souls games like from release as they progress through these patches. You did Dark Souls 2 a little bit.
Yeah, that's the only. And it was like a weird like console.
But like with Dark Souls 1 and Deaths, like they put out patches that change like very significant gameplay things like this. That make huge differences. The most important is like the Dark Souls 1 patches that like changed how scaling worked and added upgrade materials into the game, which is basically what this thing is going to do.
The stuff that I look at that kind of makes me like go, what? Is like when they go, all right, now the inside shop opens up right away with one inside. You don't need 10.
Good.
And it makes me think like,
that's a fair change.
But I guess it kind of changes the... Like, I just think about how much I was overthinking it when I first had that happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, they wait for you to get to 10, so that that must mean something. And,
No.
and your brain just goes so far with it when it's like, no, they just arbitrarily thought,
one should be
now you're ready.
It's a currency check.
You know? And I was like, oh, okay. I guess that wasn't as in-depth as I thought it was. Oh, well.
The only reason I prefer it at 10 is because then you can actually buy something. If you're at 1, I don't... Like, you can buy very little. If
You can at least see.
You can buy items, but it's a waste.
And related to that, YOSP basically confirms a Bloodborne expansion
That
happening.
was the weirdest thing in the world. It's
Yoshida.
like, hey, is there going to be a Bloodborne DLC? Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Stay tuned.
I know.
Yeah.
How is that?
It's crazy, but he's right. He's
Hey,
been getting asked
but
How
constantly.
crazy
But, like,
is it
we're
to
not-
announce DLC when your game is out?
Yeah, I know.
Wouldn't that be a novel concept?
Oh, fuck,
Perish
right? Yeah.
thought.
Instead of announcing
Yeah.
Well,
so much.
before-
From
yeah.
Software's been good with that.
That is the
so-
FromSoft way.
Yeah. I can't fucking wait.
Hey, our
I'm
game
so
is a big
excited.
success and people like it. Maybe we should
I
start
haven't even
making
beaten the
DLC
game yet,
for
and
it.
I'm
Maybe
super
that's a good
excited.
idea. Let's put that in the
Apparently,
pipeline.
people know where the DLC area is going to be, though. There's that locked door in the basement of Bergenworth that is super suspicious.
That's fine.
There's a
then
couple
they
places that
don't
can go,
know.
yeah.
They're thinking,
I mean,
you know, like there's always a locked door
yeah,
somewhere
people
that might be
people
something.
thought they knew where the Dark Souls 1 DLC was going to be, and then it was
No,
like
they
they drag
didn't.
you through a portal.
Yeah. So it's just, hey, shut up,
I
stop
think
guessing.
Dark 2 was the only one where it was really obvious.
It was super obvious.
And for Demons, it would have been obvious if they'd have
It
done
would have been so obvious.
Yeah.
But like at the same time with Dark 2, it was like, oh, this giant fucking
These doors.
like a teleporter that was not there.
Yeah.
You can't predict that they're not just going to chunk in a giant thing.
It could be anything.
You know?
Oh, it could be anything.
Oh, look, here's a gate to another part of the graveyard. You know?
Dude, you could have
Here's
to
an
just,
offshoot in the forest that goes
Whatever.
through
they could make you jump off the hunter's dream.
Exactly.
Like, it could be
Exactly.
anything.
Oh, that'd be the good way.
I know.
So that's what I'm saying, like pegging down the whole, it might be this door. It's like, no, stop it.
Oh, come on, it's fun.
Dumb.
Yeah.
When a game has so many locked doors.
Hope that comes.
Dude, Wise Heavens were got to come out at the same time as fucking DMC4 Special Edition. This is the worst.
Yo, and you're gonna have to play Splatoon too.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna
No,
still
he
be.
doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
Are
What
you a kid now, or are
what
you a
tough
squid now?
fucking decision.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
Final Fantasy or fucking Virgil. I don't know what to do with my mind. I can't decide.
Okay, well,
fair,
like,
to
I
be
know there's a
fair.
sarcastic bin on,
Like
tent
14
on that, but when you say Final Fantasy and we're talking about good Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
yes, that actually is a tough decision.
I mean, you
For
have
reference,
one
there hasn't been a
DMC
good
that's
one in a
not
while,
good,
but-
and one DMC that's alright. But then you have
that
Final
DMC is
Fantasy,
amazing, and I'm
which
gonna play it.
has,
I just
like,
don't
a
think I'm
bunch
gonna be.
of
I'm
bad.
gonna put the time into it that like I would otherwise.
Yeah, like 10 playthroughs. Like no.
I'm one of those FF outliers. And,
You're not even on the grid, motherfucker.
No.
You're
Plus,
not.
We're not even into MMOs, William.
Did you
Not- no.
did you get your filthy pre-order on for DMC to get that DLC shit?
Yeah,
You get a bunch of costumes.
filthy pre-order.
Oh no, I didn't.
Fuck
You
everything.
get
If
classic Lady and Gloria.
I don't care
So
because I'm
do
not
it.
allowed to get the
And you get a
pizza box,
Virgil theme
so-
for the PS4. If you liked Virgil,
It's all
you
about
might
the
like the
pizza
Virgil
box.
theme for the
Willie,
PS4.
I'll go
You know
in with
what?
you to get the pizza box.
You know what? The pizza box is where it's at. Really.
Hey,
That I actually. Well, no, I did pre-order. Whoops, I forgot.
The Japanese one.
the
though,
Japanese
yeah.
one.
Yeah, but I mean the English one, so you
Yeah,
have
no,
English
whatever.
copy.
Fuck
Liam,
it, I'll get
would
it.
you say that 14?
Give me a pizza box.
Okay, but then you have a Japanese disc with
I bought European Bayonetta for the tome. I don't
No,
care.
just okay, just
I
to
don't
bring
care.
up.
I
the
I just want to know this.
See,
is
Willie
an
loves
aside.
these games.
Would you say that
Unlike
14
some
has the
others.
best Final Fantasy soundtrack?
I'd say it's up there.
'Cause-
It's at least a strong
Because
competitor.
I've been listening to that soundtrack, and I
In all
think it is.
fairness, a lot of it's remix tracks.
Yeah.
So,
But
like,
that's what I want.
but that's like saying Smash has the best Nintendo soundtrack. Well, it's
I
just,
think it does.
It's just you know, like it's just Nintendo.
Right,
Like
yeah, but yeah, come on, that's not fair.
You could create your own.
You're
like-
right.
like-
You're right. It's not.
it's
fair.
not fair, but you're right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Okay, that's all I want to know.
Exactly.
Because like the soundtrack is fucking unbelievable.
like, hey, Michael Jackson's greatest hits album is probably his best album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's his greatest hit. Yeah,
Limp Bizkit.
yes, it is.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
it is.
Then yes, I guess it does have the best soundtrack.
Did you see?
God,
Did you see
just-
Max Landis wrote a tweet that's like, "Limp Bizkit had some good songs. You fucking historic assholes." Like, no, what was it? Like. I forget the term for it, but when you revisionist,
yeah.
assholes, and everyone's going, name one, and he goes, I can name 7. It's funny.
Oh.
What else?
No, I was gonna say, like, I want to see a fucking like a best of album for like bands that do concept albums that where tracks link into each other. Yeah. Fucking Pink Floyd best of, where you just jump into the middle of a song or just horrible stupid shit.
Yeah.
Fucking anyway.
Daft Punk's
you have fucking 2112 and you cut out like the last track of 2112 and you put that on Rush's album
into the in the middle of other shit. Yeah. I forgot. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Dude, you want a picture perfect example of how Square Enix is insane? You know how you get this soundtrack? It's a Blu-ray. And that's the only way you can get it.
Yeah.
Via Blu-ray disc. So you can put it in your video player and watch it.
I was gonna say, like,
that happens in Japan. It's weird.
Don't even get me started on the Persona
listening to
concerts.
like a best. I was gonna say listening to like a best of Mars Volta playlist is the equivalent of just switching your channel on your TV.
Yeah,
just and listening to that.
I don't want the narrative.
That's what you're getting out of
the
it.
Sounds.
Put your hands up if you watch the footage of the canceled Doom 4 game.
I did.
I have like
not much there.
Me and Pat especially give ZeniMax or Bethesda some shit.
It has changed. The rules have changed. It is now no longer are we not good enough to see the new Doom trailer. It is now are we good enough to see more than 5 seconds of the new Doom trailer? And the answer is no.
No. You need to soak. You need to soak in what could have been.
Matt was personally invited to see the new Doom trailer.
Yes, he was.
You're the best.
But they wouldn't pay for my airfare.
Oh,
so
come on!
Fuck you.
No,
you don't get to do it anyway.
Right now, they want you. You need to soak in the El Generico Doom that could have been, so that you fully appreciate what's going to come.
Me and Pat again ZeniMax some shit, but bravo and give a kiss on the cheek to whoever at ZeniMax said cancel this shit.
After they shipped fucking Enemy Territory, good thing they fucking canned this one.
I have not seen it.
Quake Wars.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, you would roll in your grave right now.
I'm gonna get in it.
Get in it just to roll.
Here. It's some fucking
show me.
Like Resistance level.
Have it way less cooler than Resistance.
It's so boring.
Why do you have a fucking tab open to League of Legends?
Because I was trying to remember something for a question that got asked.
Okay.
Willie feels out of touch that you're into FF14.
Whatever, look it up later. It doesn't matter.
There's a fucking countdown on this podcast till somebody goes, so I started to play League of Legends.
Yeah.
No.
My grandma got me in the league the other day. No.
Yeah. Because she's a fucking feeder.
Well, since we just hit the brakes and fucking hard righted on that. Yeah, someone asked a question that's like, what do you think of like characters that are like wasted on things that you don't care about or whatever? And I'm like, that fucking cool samurai Yasuo from League of Legends is way cooler than anything I'd care to partake of.
Yeah, I don't believe in the idea of a character being wasted on something. Whoever's making that game made that character.
No, I know. I just my dumb personal.
No, it's why can't that character be in a game I want to play?
Yeah. It's selfish and stupid.
It's a little twinge of.
But that Doom thing is basically a bunch of Resistance fighters all wearing brown, going, "We beat the demons," and then there's just landscapes of towers,
Resistance,
and cities.
Fall of Man, kind of shit.
Way more bland.
So as much as I shit all over the marketing department involved with all this Doom stuff, I feel really bad for the people making this Doom game because is there anything?
The new one or the canned
one? The new one.
Okay.
Is there anything that like is more high pressure in terms of like a remake of an old fucking thing?
Up there. It's
like
up there.
Doom
Wolfenstein.
Doom.
No, Doom is a bit more than
Doom is.
No, it is, but they're this. They're
Doom is like arguably like the most important game to ever exist. And also, I said arguably. The fact that your mouth is going...
I didn't open my mouth.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was just chewing, Pat. But you don't know that I said anything.
The fact that you were like gonna say something, but you're like, but then you were gonna say something. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
It can be argued.
Of
and
course.
I'll also argue that it's one of the best games ever, and it invented... it popularized.
It's on the list. So just say it's on the list.
No, it's awesome. I love Doom. So this is scary if you got to make the new one.
But I don't feel bad.
Did you see the 5 seconds of the new trailer?
I did see the that double shotgun.
Revenant looks awesome.
Revenant looks pretty good.
I don't feel bad for them yet because for all we know, they could be the next Machine Games.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but it's id though. It's still id.
Yeah, but it isn't
They
id.
made Wolfenstein.
It isn't it?
Oh.
So
No, yeah.
I
Machine
have
Games
a lot
isn't
of faith in this after the Wolfenstein games because they were awesome.
So in the trailer that was described to me that I'm not good enough to, I'll never be good enough to watch because the trailer we're getting at this E3
Will be a different trailer.
is going to be a brand new trailer, which is still good. Thank you.
I hope it's like a 10-minute demo.
If it was a 10-minute demo, I forgive everything.
I'm sure they're going to show a ton. I think
They're going to do that, and then that'll be the opening act to Fallout 4, and everyone's going to shit their pants.
When it's described as literally the game has fatalities. That's what gets me.
If they were smart, they looked.
Doom.
If they were smart,
Doom.
they looked at Brutal Doom and said, "Wow, that's awesome. Let's do that."
Yeah.
I just think of the days when we were, the episodes of the podcast where we yearned for the good old GamePro days. When is this coming out? It's out now!
Yeah.
I just heard about it now. Go get it now!
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Pat still yells about that.
So I don't
I'm
mind.
still in that lane.
I don't mind getting cold cocked.
Yeah, I know. It'll come eventually.
No, but
And I'll get hype eventually.
But Wooly, we already know it's coming out. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If they just
Then you're gonna get hyped then.
if they just
Remember-
no, it has to be now.
Remember, I
Pat,
bought.
you know what the worst is?
If it's not now, you'd rather have nothing.
I would rather have no information on this.
You're
game
not
until
even
they
in
do.
the worst situation, because the worst situation, and Wooly and probably Matt can attest to this, is when you work for the company and you want to know more, you're not allowed to know more.
That's another level
And
of
you're
bullshit.
you're thinking about risking your job to find out
to peek
more.
underneath a doorway.
Motherfucker, I
fair,
swiped
I've
2
done it.
key cards to
be
get
fair, the most-
to my work, and you fucking won't tell me?
Yeah.
The most
Yeah,
recent
exactly.
time where a game has done this, it's been to its fucking
Detriment.
downfall. Where, hey, D4 is out. Oh, it's out now. No one bought it because no one knew,
Yeah.
and its sales were crappy at launch.
Well, I mean that,
and now it's been fine, but still.
Well, back then, games only had to sell tens or
And
maybe
now
a
not
couple
so,
hundred,
so-
and now it's just not realistic to do that at all. So,
But that being said, that Doom remake, again, is wow, what a fucking bullet.
I think, there's a...
Hey, they want to make. They made B.J. Blazkowicz a character, and that's hard. But at least BJ had a name.
Yeah.
don't you
Fucking Doom guy.
I'm not the only one here who thinks it's a bit ironic
He had a
or
name in Doom
weird.
3, did he
where
not? He had a name in Doom 3.
That's also a different remake of Doom 1, so it's not canon.
You're technically right.
Doom 1 and Doom 2 are canon. That's
where Wolfenstein was being sold alongside a still upcoming
And the comic.
Doom beta. Please buy Wolfenstein.
Yeah, please buy
'cause
Wolfenstein
you'll
to get into the Doom beta.
Because you'll get this
I've been
still
waiting a
upcoming
year to
Doom
get
beta.
it.
No, but the irony is
Fuck
now
you,
that we
Pat.
have
The
faith.
comic is canon.
The
Why?
irony-
Because I have huge guts?
Tear and rip and tear!
Sorry.
The irony is now that we have faith in Doom because Wolfenstein was a big success.
You're
As
totally-
opposed to when previously they sold us empty promises of Doom to make us believe in Wolfenstein.
That's correct.
I think that's really
You're totally right.
I'm crazy, but
Yeah.
Hey, they made a good game, so...
yeah, exactly.
Actually, they made 2.
I mean, too.
So-
yeah, no.
Do you know who else made a good game? Oh no.
Oh no, Honor made a good game.
Oh no!
And he's teasing that the next Street Fighter V character is going to be one we haven't seen in a while.
Ooh.
We've done this dance
I know,
a
and
million times.
it starts again.
Eagle.
Sure. But regardless of the speculation, more importantly, there's going to be a playable build at CEO.
Okay, if it hasn't...
Which is amazing.
If
Yeah.
it hasn't
what a
been someone...
Jabali just...
It's not total
what a
non-news.
get, yeah.
What a get.
The only thing you can take away from this is if it hasn't been a character...
It has to be someone that's
It
on
has
Street
to be
Fighter
that's
4.
not in Street Fighter 4. That's
So-
the only thing you can take away
on the
from
short
I
list
think
of
so, too.
like the
Alpha
cutting
and Third
rooms,
Strike guys.
is Q, Yuri, Alex.
all the people we wanted.
Alex is
God, if
less
Alex
likely
was in
because
it.
Tatsunoko.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true, actually.
I think Urian is a really good
Urian,
chance.
Yeah.
Maybe
Q,
Karen.
Q is
Maybe
obviously
Yeah,
more...
but like Urian is a more like
God, Karen would fucking
played
blow
and liked
people's minds.
character.
way,
But yeah, you're right.
They should
yeah,
just
but you could
buy
do
Karen with these
You
things.
can do anything. You can do anything.
But Q
has no age.
Q's design is just like it's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's like
With the Bison trailer...
I don't think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna do a girl this
I
time
would-
because
I-
they've done. We're at 3 boys and a girl now.
I
think
would
they're gonna do a girl.
love.
right.
I would love to see.
Or a robot.
Not necessarily for this one.
What's a
but-
girl that's not Karen?
Who
that-
says
that
Q's
is
not a
in
girl?
Oh, that
Liam.
would be a reveal. if it was Q
Liam.
and she took off the mask and she was just even cooler, like
Liam, what's a girl character that's not Karen that wasn't in Street Fighter 4?
Armika.
Armika's the one, and she's like a favorite. So.
And that's about it.
Not many.
Just what I want is the Q character trailer to come out, and like Q looks more or less the same, and all that, and then just see the internet go, "Who the fuck is this new character?"
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, can't believe they went so weird with a new character.
Every trailer of Street Fighter V makes me a little bit more warmed up to it, because the initial trailer I was not really super happy with. I was just like, oh good, it's created, but I was just like, it looks...
I think the FGC trailer?
Yeah, I was
like
just
the one that leaked the night before?
Yeah.
Rise
I was just like...
Yeah, there wasn't much
But
going
each additional trailer, I'm like, okay, it's looking better and better. I'm sad that there's only one stage, but at least that there's adding more characters.
Yeah, I wish they would show off another stage.
Well, remember, it's the same thing as 4 with China.
Thing. I've done. It's like we've done the dance. We've done the dance.
How it goes. If there was an Alex trailer, I would be 100% on board, because Alex is one of my favorite all-time characters.
Fast forward 2 years from now, it's gonna be great. Like known,
it's the same thing as what you said, Wooly. I want the new thing
it's coming out next year.
Come out right next week.
It's coming out next year. Coming out at the beginning of 2016.
Yeah,
that's not 2 years.
No, but I'm saying when we're playing it and we're used to it and we know it and it's happening, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Like I saw that, I was like I said, just got up, bought my PS4.
Yep,
that's all. All I needed to know was this game is happening. The trailer just had to let me know.
Did you get your PC after that or before?
After that.
I don't remember, but it was around the same time.
It had to have been after, because like you could have just gotten the PC instead. But that wouldn't have counted for the other fighters.
And that doesn't solve my problem.
No, it doesn't.
I think it was after, though.
It was way
I would never look at the PC version of Street Fighter and say, like, that's my console.
It's not adequate.
That's not what you play.
Plus,
we spoke about this with Mortal Kombat X,
exactly.
Yeah.
Tournament-wise, it's got to be...
No, I don't want.
It's got to be standard.
I don't want this better version.
And speaking of tournament-wise standardness and fun stuff, good news for everybody. That awesome. Looks like that awesome thing that Skullgirls got going, where the PS4 version supports your PS3 stick.
Yeah, the driver that they made.
So we're also going to have that happening with Street Fighter.
Awesome that they actually credited Lab Zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, straight up.
Street Fighter 4 totally has this. If you've got a stick, you're going to be fine. Now what we need is obviously to see everyone else get on board.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't solve your problem if you still have to buy a stick for the few games that don't want to
what we need is not for everyone else to get on board. What we need is for Sony to put it as a driver into the firmware.
No, you're right.
For it to be like system level, so you can't.
And that's a discussion with Mad Catz, of course, as well, because they've started production on their shit.
Yeah, Mad Catz will not.
That being said, that new arcade stick, the T2 is amazing.
To be fair, everyone kind of thought they'd be upset about things like that, where it turned out they're like, no, Markman came out and said that's an awesome thing. That he was really, they're happy that
Mad Catz's solution is that they hope
they're super cool with it.
The Mad Catz solution is that they hope that the Tournament Edition 2 sticks are good enough that you'll want to upgrade.
You want them anyway.
And guess what? They're really good sticks. They're so heavy. They're so heavy.
And they're easy to work with and mod and good stuff. So fucking good on you guys, man. Like Skullgirls doing it. They've been innovating other shit for a while now, and the pause button hold feature and all that shit. But it takes big games like MKX and Street Fighter to make it
to the limelight.
Yeah. That's it. That's exactly it.
If Street Fighter 5 doesn't support this, that'll fucking.
That's bad. That'd be baffling. No, why would it not?
It'd be super. Well, the only reason I would think is because this version of Street Fighter 4 is made by Westerners.
Yeah, maybe.
So this week I want to give the slow clap to a game that I don't particularly care for.
Wow.
But this genius actual policy makes me so happy.
Which is?
So the H1Z1 dev is
this one's
unbanning
good.
Cheaters as long as they apologize publicly on YouTube.
That's
not
awesome.
To the devs, but to the players.
And you link it to the devs,
and they will tweet it and tweet your apology, and then you get unbanned.
That's interesting. And fighting games should do that.
Yeah, and it's a limited, exactly right.
Yeah.
It's a limited time thing, and they've already they've unbanned 3 people. It's so limited, but it's they had to reban a guy because he made it private again. It's no, this is your public fucking.
You can't take it back.
You're in the stocks. This is your public flogging.
You're in the pillory.
And you apologize for ruining the game for everybody, and then you can play again.
I like this.
It's great.
It's
really and you're totally right that it's a game that you could not know less about or care.
No, I don't.
Me as well.
But they have. But they came out saying like, yeah, this is about. This is a campaign that we're doing. It's not so much about unbanning people as it is about making an awareness putting awareness out there that like fucking cheating is ruining games where the multiplayer is the whole experience.
Fuck games up.
You know, and this is a game where there's no game if people are cheating with you.
Yeah,
there's nothing to play.
It sucks when you play an online game and people are shooting rockets from their handgun.
And I watched one or two of them.
Infinite ones.
Exactly, with no reload, right? And I watched one or two of them, and the one thing that they all had in common is that they all said, hey man, I put in like 200 hours legit. You know, I was playing like on my character, but I was just running into so many cheaters that I just got fed up, and I just thought, you know, okay, I'll put on not the super weapons, but I'll put on the thing that lets me see where you are.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone is like, they're all people that are like, I played legit, and I ran into so many cheaters that I said, fuck it, I'm doing it too. Right. And that's what happened.
Right.
You know?
It's a fucking area of influence of cheating.
Epidemic.
There's two kinds of cheating. There's your fucking horrible, like, actual cheaters.
And then there's your pat cheating.
No, then there's what I'm terming as a social cheater.
There's a
where I've been seeing those people lately in 14. People that do the 24-man raid and just sit outside the boss room and hope you win because they don't want to actually fight the boss.
Oh,
they just want to get the drops.
Oh, just being a shit.
That's,
it's not even cheating. You're just being a shit.
There's
not helping on the fucking 24-man raid is cheating.
Is there a game? Cheating. Is there a game system that lets you punish that person?
You can contact GMs.
There should be a tighter thing there. You know?
If you get a bad enough tank, you can get them banned for being a shit tank.
There's a metaphor here about how like people are getting infected by mods and hacks in the game about zombies, but I'm too lazy to make it.
Just leave it on the floor and someone will make it for you.
Exactly.
That's how you
then they did it.
Cure it. Good on them.
If you're a zombie and you eat people, apologize publicly on YouTube and we'll forgive you.
No, you're eating someone again. It doesn't count.
Stop that.
To eat the brains. They need hugs.
I just saw other people doing it to me, so
They need love and hugs, and that's what cures them.
Yeah, exactly.
Liam, tell the world about NetHigh.
NetHigh. It looks interesting. I haven't looked too deeply into it because I don't want to be disappointed.
What's it on?
It's on the Vita.
So tell me, like, this is not...
I don't see why that's a punchline, unless you're just picking on me here.
Does this not look inspired by...
you answered your own question.
The manga series that are out there that are all, like, the Twitter... based mangas.
A little bit, exactly.
Right?
So in this, I think you read the same synopsis I did. You're hunting other people who are on social networks, people with no lives, and you're dueling them with info that you can find about them.
These premises...
Kinda nifty.
Yeah, but these premises are going so far with the whole, like... it's mandatory that everyone has a cell phone in the future. And everyone has to have Twitter.
Yeah.
Or this Twitter type program. And then the game begins.
No, definitely.
Because it's like, alright, we get it. How cool would it be if you died when you had 0 followers? You know?
Did you see the main character and did you note that he looked a bit like a Gurren protagonist?
That's a very fucking Kamina style
guy. So if you look up the artist on his Pixiv, he has tons of Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill fan art.
Big egg, the shades are just clearly,
But whatever, the designs look cool and the game looks like explosive
this just clicked. This is the one where you're catching people who lie about themselves on Twitter.
Yeah, you see the cool guy and then he turns into the fat guy in the trailer.
The one thing I thought was cool is if you look at the trailer, either they're doing some visual tricks or they have like 3D going on like they did with Guilty Gear.
That's Guilty Gear. No, that looks like Guilty Gear level 3D.
It looks like just as good if that's what they're doing. It's really impressive.
There were the ink lines on some of the guy's hair swooshes actually rotated.
It's really cool looking after
that guy's not really a Navy SEAL.
He's just a 3D model of a Navy SEAL character.
It's really just a seal with a plastic gun in its hand.
But I don't know. I'm worried because like EX Troopers and Bakumatsu Rock before it, the game has tons of different like.
That's a really good name.
I know, it's fucking great.
That's awesome.
The game has tons of art that is text. And
God damn it!
Game. So
stop doing that.
Hard coded.
That's why I didn't look too deeply into it because I don't want to get myself hyped up for it.
It's hard-coded.
Whoever made that decision about EX Troopers is a fucking idiot.
I know, I'm just saying.
I know. No, I agree with you.
But they're like comic book effects.
It's a shame.
What are you gonna do?
It's a shame because
do that.
It's a shame because having played EX Troopers, they had so much impact when you're shooting the gun and it's like
it's the JoJo menacing.
You design it in a way that you can put an alphabet in there, like something. anything.
Because it's just because
costs money.
Could you imagine
subtitle the top of the screen with the word Rumble?
All right. So Matt and Liam,
like the EX Troopers thing. I think the actual thing was we're not going to sell enough units to warrant this.
So
and I think they were 100% correct.
All right, guys. QA time. You're playing a game. A gun's being fired, and you're seeing giant placeholder _ string sliding out of the gun. How fucking insane would that be?
Yeah. Like anytime you shot, and
that's the only way to do it.
And every gun you get would maybe be different,
or like a Batman old school whappo punch.
That's a localized test plan.
You get all the esoteric language.
That's an entire test plan. That's 2 guys just for that.
Yeah. Oh shit!
That ain't free.
Kablam in Finnish is a super bad insult.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta fix that.
So,
Finnish people might get upset.
So
can't sell it in Finland.
Yeah. You're already not going to sell it in Finland.
But your profit margins are even smaller now.
Yeah.
Finland's like 2%.
Looks really cool, though. I do hope it... Like, it's by Marvelous, and they own Xseed, so I hope it comes out here.
Remember what Microsoft said? That, like, all those Slavic countries, or Swedish, or whatever, that area, they're tier 3 countries, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, because they all buy PlayStations.
Yeah. And play EVE Online.
God, fucking speaking of tier 3 countries and treatment, like... Seeing the thing where it's like, don't forget, Guilty Gear Xrd lands in Europe next month. I got so mad. Dude.
It got me too. I saw that on Gematsu the other day.
Guys, my heart fucking goes out to you.
When did Guilty Gear come out? Like in January?
Like 5 years ago.
Everyone in here is casually done. Casually, people are done with Guilty Gear Xrd.
Yeah.
And you haven't even gotten... Like, oh my
Luffy hasn't even figured it out yet.
What are you doing, guys?
If you have a Loami accent and you like Persona, then that shit's been rough for a long-ass time.
Atlas shit, that's fuck, man.
Because they were a small company, and they decided, where should we put our one external publishing house? Should it be in North America or Europe? And the obvious choice is North America, but they never got big enough to make a European one, so they always relied on like Ghostlight and shit like that.
I know, but this is where another company steps in, takes it up, and gets it out there.
And everyone they ever dealt with, all the third-party European distributors are apparently pieces of shit.
They need to fucking partner with Sony for
Too
Persona
big to
5.
fail, too not small enough to die.
Yeah.
I hope they partner with Sony for Persona 5.
This is where Capcom says, we'll get that Zelda games.
Yeah. Does Sega not have a European publishing branch?
I think
they do.
They still
Can
do.
they not just put P5 out simultaneously?
Maybe.
I mean, they could if they meet all the regulations, but that's a lot of languages.
Stop having more languages than us, Europe.
Actually, actively a lot more work to do a European release than an English.
Yeah, but at least you can do the UK release at the same time, right?
I don't think you can.
Unless
because you have to be okay for all the other.
And they're all in the same builds. They're all in the same builds.
And don't forget you need PEGI ratings. You need USK ratings.
You need that German censorship shit.
You need to boot the game up and see a bunch of flags.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's what it is.
It's a lot of work.
A couple of games that PAL games I bought off eBay, I can only get in Spanish.
Into the ocean where it's free.
English.
And then the game runs at 50 FPS.
It's 50 hertz. It's not the same thing.
I know it's not the same thing.
Everyone thinks it is.
You get a different frame.
I know.
No, but like I remember there was a big kerfuffle over like a European Virtual Console for a while because they were getting like fucking 50 hertz versions of these games, which are running at lower frame rates and do change those games in a lot of key ways. Mm-hmm. And the Europeans are like, why can't we finally get the fucking North American version of these games?
We don't use those TVs anymore.
No one uses fucking PAL television 50 hertz shit anymore.
And they're yelling to an ocean
that doesn't give a fuck.
And the voice has to carry across fucking miles before it hits anybody that can make a decision.
Yeah.
God.
Shibata's busy playing Japanese 3DS games on his Japanese 3DS.
Bobby, Bangos and Mash. Like, I know.
Yeah. So, clickbait in action. This one is short and sweet, but it's really simple.
I know the one.
It's the
photo of it when you came in the room.
Yeah,
I do know the one.
Yeah, so Patrick Klepek, former Giant Bomb guy, writing an article for Kotaku.
He didn't write it.
He didn't write it?
No. It was written by The
byline says Patrick...
Why is his name...
No, we're not talking about the article. We're talking about the Worth Reading post.
This is something
Yeah,
else.
The Worth Reading post is just an amalgam. You know he didn't write the article, though, right?
No, but we're talking about...
Okay. Yeah, no, okay.
Let Willie talk.
Sorry, I am not talking about the
contents.
I'm talking about the Worth Reading, Patrick Klepek, Some Kickstarters are lying about game budgets. Giant picture of Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah.
And
that was a pull from the article you're describing.
Polygon. Yeah, exactly. But shortly after, edited to worth reading. The way games are using Kickstarter is changing with big Yooka-Laylee picture because the Yooka-Laylee guys went...
What are you doing?
What the actual fucking... Why would you do that?
That was the wrong one. It should have been a picture of Bloodstained, because then there would have been no argument.
Because at a glance, like, you look at that, and it's just like, it says Yooka-Laylee is lying about their budget.
That's the National Enquirer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Does Brad Pitt have 4 kinds of blood cancer?
My biggest problem with that was if he had just known his shit, he would have put a picture of Bloodstain and no one would have been able to argue about it.
When you work for Kotaku, you literally get dumber.
Maybe.
It's just like, come on, man. Don't clickbait that hard, dude. Come on.
Clickbait a little less.
And by the way, that
Are you guys excited for these projects? Here's 10 reasons why you shouldn't.
By the way, that Polygon article, which is written by a guest person who's running her own Kickstarter right now, is terrible.
Oh yeah, that thing.
For a number of reasons that I don't need to explain anymore because I said that sentence.
Yeah. All right. And thus we move on.
The gist of it is like Kickstarter.
The conflict of interest there is such that how did they allow this?
Liam, I'll sum it up in 2 sentences. These Kickstarters are ruining Kickstarter by someone whose Kickstarter is failing.
Check out my Kickstarter, by the way.
Yes,
like this totally original game that I'm making.
That's enough. We're
based
done.
on Hamlet.
Like imagine us put out a video tomorrow saying Let's Plays are killing Let's Plays.
Yeah.
Like
we can't compete with James. We can't compete with Starcade.
Aaron
we can't. We can't do it. It's JonTron's thing. He's
the new
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
JonTron, why are you ruining our business? What?
We can't compete with that. There's no money to be made. We get all the secondhand views.
Oh yeah.
We get all the leper views.
No, not the lepers. Oh,
we don't want
just
that.
The idea of a leper at his laptop watching Let's Play.
Well, when we get the YouTube contract, it's like you get X amount for regular views and you get Y decreased amount for leper views because they have to clean it.
This is just like that movie called Papillon with Charlton Heston escaping from that French prison.
Exactly. We can't compete with Starcade.
He smokes the cigar, and the leper's like, how'd you know it was dry leprosy? And he's like, I didn't. And then the lepers are like, you're cool, man.
That's like, I need to
then
watch
they help him escape from the island. That's views.
I need to watch this Let's Play, but I'm
yeah, good job, Pat.
low on blood, so hook up my blood bag
I'm just watching,
to the fucking laptop while I watch Let's
try
Plays.
And get to a point that I didn't even make.
It's Peter Parker writing about how awesome Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
Dude, Spider-Man's so hot!
Yeah, basically.
Girls should fuck him.
Especially Black Cat. Please?
So,
I want to have sex, Spider-Man, with you!
Oh no. Fappo.
In a move that just... exactly. In a move that, like...
Fappo.
I feel like I've covered this story already, but we didn't. We covered very similar ones. Oculus co-founder Palmer Luckey is accused of fraud by the company he used to work at.
This is so similar.
Saying that he apparently used the data that he got while he was there to move forward and co-found Oculus with shit he pulled from another company. It's like...
Not
it's
so
almost
lucky,
like,
are you?
It's almost like nowadays any innovative, like, massive new companies are gonna just be made up of people that walked out with the data from their last company.
Carmack, like, first of all, he got hit with this a while ago himself.
Yeah.
But he also had some statements, like, before that, where he talked about, like, copyright and patent law in terms of the tech world. And especially in programming, and how infuriating it was, because he had run into situations, and she's like, how do I solve this latency problem, or whatever, right? And he would code up a solution, and be like, yeah, I figured out the best solution, and then he'd go and show it to his boss or whatever, or whoever the fuck was in charge of this, the patent guy is like, somebody already figured that out already, and they own it.
We can't use it.
So you gotta figure out a different way to solve this problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, man.
No, that's...
Programming...
It's insane. Like, you're building your house, and you decide that, hey, you know what? A foundation might make the house be more sturdy.
But you can't do it that way.
Foundations are copyrighted.
Yeah, exactly.
Jimmy, why can't I do it that way? I made a foundation. I thought up it myself.
Yeah, but Bobby already thought about that.
Oh, fuck Bobby.
Yeah.
Does Bobby own the word edge, too?
He does.
God, that edge thing.
You're
What's
fired.
the same thing? Language being copyrighted is scary.
Exactly. So I feel like it's not the last we're going to see of, like, this. I feel like every other thing in tech that's similar to
I own every thought
you
you
know?
had while you worked here, is the gist of it.
Or like person that works at a company that gets good at thing, then leaves to make their own thing because they're now good at thing.
Everyone go through the papers. Did he ever touch anything like that? Yeah.
That's like Miyamoto starting his own plumbing company.
Yeah. He'll get fucking
with all the data he culled.
So you guys
found a secret warp while he's working on the drain.
The Nintendo ninjas will kill him.
Gonna plumb this shit.
Speaking of plumbing shit, you remember that fucking shitbag kid that was
such a good lead-in.
That was swatting everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Lizard Squad.
Mr. Lizard Squad. Yeah, he got pulled in to court and he pled guilty to 23 charges of fucking with people's lives and shit.
Criminal mischief.
While smirking, apparently.
Yeah, you know why?
Because he's a 17-year-old fucking piece of shit.
And he's
probably because he's swatting the judge right then.
Right then and there.
Because
some of the
17,
stories,
he's Canadian, and he made a deal, so he's not going to see jail.
So they went into some of the details with like he didn't just swat people, like he straight up harassed and got
bomb threats and all
bomb threats, got people's social security numbers out there, and like in some cases got credit cards out there, and like ruined people's credit lines and ratings and shit like that, and just completely destroyed lives. And it's just like, you're a minor, so. They're probably...
You're a minor.
He's probably not gonna do hard time.
And let's be clear.
But we don't know yet.
Like, he's not. He made a deal. There's no way he would have made a deal as a minor for jail time.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Unless
he'll be on 10 years of probation. Sure.
It's like they only upgrade like cases to being tried as an adult when it's usually death.
And part of the reason why he got caught in the first place is because he was stupid enough to brag about it on stream for hours.
It's almost as if he's a 17-year-old kid.
But at the same time, not even that dumb, because it's something that you couldn't really even get in trouble for. Because, there's some of the people that went to go to the cops about this had to explain what swatting was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the cops were just they just didn't even understand.
Why?
You know, and they had to go back and forth. They're like, oh, well, he lives in another country. Well, we can't do anything.
This is going to get a lot worse before it gets any better.
A ton of these cases just died in the water because they're like, he's in another country, he's on the internet, what do you want us to do?
When you say that, I always think of Chief Wiggum getting
That's exactly what I'm describing.
Stuck in the hot tub.
That is exactly what I'm describing.
I listened to this, I don't want to call it an interview, but it was a guy, he has a YouTube channel called Review Tech USA.
Yeah, Review Tech.
Yeah, he had a little...
Skibbity-bop-bop, do-up, whatever, explosion.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
See, nobody remembers the name, but they remember that. Because he's got a good opening hook. It's good.
He had a talk with two... He had a talk with two Lizard Squad guys over Skype.
Really?
And it was mediated by another third party guy who I think is a friend of his. And they claimed that the 17-year-old guy from Canada, they knew him, but he wasn't actually part of Lizard Squad, and they were he was just trying to impress them or something. And they were the biggest asshole. They are such gigantic asshole. In case it's not evident. By what they
guys
do already.
Were they just playing it off like it's no big deal?
Dude, no, they are... No, not that it's no big deal. They know exactly what they're doing, but they don't care. They're getting their jollies. And they don't care because they're not going to get caught. Yeah. They are the biggest assholes in the world.
Because
I think there's some warlords that would disagree.
They're the biggest assholes that I have had the displeasure of listening to in the world.
Because, anti-swatting laws are not, a full...
They don't even exist.
They do exist in, I think, California.
Oh, okay.
But, it's
not to a scale.
No, but not in general. Yeah, that's it.
What's California trooper going to come down to fucking Toronto to?
No, because he's too thirsty.
We backtraced it.
Yeah, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets.
The law can't go through because of the drought.
You can't fucking.
How am I supposed to drive my boat up to Canada if there's no water? Oh, the salt.
You have to drive over the salt. 160 days.
Oh, I'm pretty salty out on this.
California has the Doof Warrior be its new mayor.
The podcast preview should just be
California wouldn't have a mayor.
Governor.
Yeah. I'm the mayor of California because they fell into the ocean just like that The Rock movie said.
Yep. Or Escape from L.A.
Or any number of movies.
Any number of movies.
Barbed wire.
And as far as lawsuits go, another one I didn't realize because I just didn't follow this whole thing. But remember when we were talking about how Daniel Radcliffe is going to be in that Rockstar movie?
Yeah.
But it's like as the movie about Rockstar, not really about GTA.
It's not a GTA
That's correct.
movie,
So this is a BBC drama movie that's being filmed or is being made or whatever, and it's not actually officially sanctioned by Rockstar.
Boy, is it not!
So they've been trying to get them to not use GTA's name or like don't call my name in your lips.
Well, actually, what they want is for this to never happen.
Yeah, and they couldn't come to an agreement, so now they're going to court over it, and Rockstar's filing a lawsuit against the BBC.
That kind of sucks because I'd love to see that documentary.
Over the It's not a documentary; it's a drama.
So this is the problem.
Totally
it's dramatization.
Dramatization.
This
of
is
the making of GTA.
No, of the story of Rockstar.
Oh, that's
so
way more.
Why would Daniel Radcliffe be in a documentary about GTA?
You know who's
exactly?
You remember who's going to play Jack Thompson?
I vaguely
Bill
yes.
Paxton.
Oh, that's
And you know what this thing is called?
It's called
Game Changer.
No, but when you read that it's a dramatization, the
GTA 3
lawsuit
was a
obviously
game
makes
changer.
sense because the Housers are hyper private. They don't even really do interviews.
Yeah.
And you look at a dramatization, they must be terrified. Like, what if they make me look like a bad guy? I'm not a bad
What
guy.
if they put hair on there?
Because dramatizations don't have to follow rules or what happened.
But I want Rockstar to lose, and I want them to
Hey,
lose
look.
for one reason only.
What's that?
Because I want an entire movie to look like those in-between scenes in Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes.
With the shaky cam and the
Yeah.
After Effects.
and to zoom in on a person's eyes for 5 minutes.
And the big red dramatization text at the
Yeah,
bottom of
yeah,
the screen.
yeah.
I want a movie.
You don't have
Yeah,
the story.
I totally
you
agree.
don't have the story down, but it's very, very similar to this. There was a lawsuit for Toho is suing a company that's trying to sell a movie that.
Oh yeah, that came up last week.
that has Anne Hathaway, and it's literally billed, and the poster for it
Has
has
Godzilla
a
in
picture of Godzilla, and Toho's like, "You're using
And
Godzilla."
Mazinger. Yes,
And Mazinger as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're using Godzilla to promote your movie, and they're like, no, there's a picture of Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, shut up, though. The movie's not filmed yet. But they're trying-
Furthermore, you're a
Furthermore.
company that's known for being a shit to everyone else for copyright
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Great.
And they hunt down, they're one of those copyright holding shitbag companies that hunts down people and makes a ton of their money off of just lawsuits, litigation,
patent trolling
and
and
fucking
shit.
patent. Yeah. So Toho's like, and you are known for being one of the biggest problem companies with this.
I
Get him,
wonder-
Toho.
So you're like the actual statement is like you're like you guys are hypocrites.
No, what you
It's
do,
nuts.
what you should have done, Toho, is waited for the movie to be like 8 months into production, then
Yeah.
pull this.
I bet this company
Get the
that's
counter
making
hit.
this movie, their reply is,
Now, let's be clear, we're
Come
not big
on.
fans of
The door.
copyright law, and 99% of the time copyright and patent law is abused like crazy. But this has Godzilla and Mazinger in it!
And the byline is like, this movie is a mix of Godzilla and blah, blah, blah.
It's like
And
they just
a romantic
stole it.
thing.
They just
Say
stole
Google
it.
image search, fucking
It's
Control
hilarious.
V, blend.
It's fucking funny.
Crazy!
Good times.
Get him, Toho.
And then there's like
Sick
some
Angarius.
new game announcement type things and whatnot.
What do
So
you got?
there's 20 minutes of it's still being called Game 4, but Behemoth's new
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
You can
Damn
go
it,
check
put
out.
a name out for this.
They don't have a
game.
name yet.
Like
I
I've
bet
played
you,
it. Like
yeah,
yeah.
me too. I bet
And
you it's going to be called Game 4.
if you want to see just uncut like Stamper running wild, like Hulkamania running wild
That's
on
scary.
you, that's what you're getting.
Is it up on their live leak channel?
You go check out the YouTube video, the first 20 minutes, and it's just Stamper doing, like, everything. His voice, he narrates, he makes noises as characters in the background. He's this hateful narrator. He's fucking all over it, and it looks fucking great.
Good.
if you play Battle Block Theater, and if you took Stamper off, you'd see cutscenes of nothing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
No.
he's 90% the
So
cutscene.
That's
far,
a behemoth joint, alright.
so far, like, when you hear, it's the narration. It's almost like the Bastion kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like Transistor, except it's just hateful God Stamper shitting on you as you play. It's fucking great.
It's probably not even script. There's no script.
There is, because, like, you do things and he's, like, responding to what you're doing.
No, he just knew.
No,
Oh,
but
yeah,
but
yeah.
there was nothing in front of him when he
just
recorded
the microphone going. Just, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So there's that.
Stamper, why are you so crazy?
Stamper just gets in the booth and there's 40 bottles of alcohol. And they lock him in there until there's like 100 minutes of.
But are these for to piss in?
And then they come in,
Stamper, they're for you to piss in.
And then they come in and all the 40 bottles are still intact because he doesn't need it.
Yeah, he doesn't drink.
And you pissed on the floor?
I know he does.
Why'd you?
A little bit.
The bottles were.
No, you open the door and the piss comes washing out because there was like a foot of it. That's the Stamper way.
If you're like me and you got caught up in the tide of things and didn't have time to touch Lords of the Fallen, there's a Game of the Year edition coming out.
I play a little bit.
Oh, does this come with the Labyrinth?
All the
DLC
extra shit
thing?
included.
Oh, this is the one I might touch then.
If I own the game,
because it sounds like
do
you
I
guys
get all the extra shit?
I don't know.
Well, this is another edition.
It is, but did that come out for free? Or was it DLC?
It was DLC.
Maybe it'll be free.
Okay, so that answers my question then, which was like, did anyone go back?
It was really
I
rough.
bought it. I played it.
It was really.
Did anyone go back?
Go back?
No.
Because like Scholar of First Sin and fucking Bloodborne, the timing didn't.
There's
work.
nothing wrong with it. It just kind of fell by the wayside.
From what I played, aside from its roughness, it felt like a pretty solid Dark Souls clone.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in playing this when this version comes out. When's that due for?
They had some very interesting ideas about how XP worked and regaining it. Mm-hmm. You would bank your XP, but the more interesting thing is that your Bloodstained would lose XP over time.
June 26th.
I fought that first boss like a...
Oh, wow, that's the same day as Devil May Cry, isn't it?
No, the Devil May Cry is earlier.
Is it earlier than June 26th?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like 23rd.
Fucking...
That's 3 days.
The creator of Flashback, the original, announces his new project with a trailer, Subject 13.
Is it similar to Flashback?
It's similar to Flashback, mixed with Room Escape, mixed with...
Godzilla.
I don't even know what to call it, but maybe like a little bit of Myst in there.
Okay,
it's like puzzle solving, room escaping, flashback guy.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Interesting.
I don't know anything about it.
Nothing else to say.
From the guy who did Flashback Souls.
Watch the trailer, go, and you can see his style all over it too. You know,
I'm interested.
So.
That game is so untouched. There's not much like it, even to this day and age.
Well, it's so weird because it's like it feels like the sequel to Out of This World that I wanted. Type of thing.
There's so much depth to that game. It's crazy.
And we don't talk about the. We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about
it.
Out of This World gets all the play.
And wow, okay, yeah, I've been sandbagging these stories and they're not interesting, so we're just going to skip them.
Woohoo!
But there's two other games. Well, one other game that was announced a short while ago, something called For the Love of God. It's like Papers, Please, but you're in heaven.
Okay.
And you're like letting people into the gates of heaven.
Okay.
So go, take your premise. It looks kind of fun.
Well, I recently saw an incredibly in-depth explanation by you of what Papers, Please is.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where is that from?
No, I think it's from the podcast, and someone just re-upped Wooly's explanation, I believe. When you first started playing Papers, Please, you talked about it on the podcast, and someone just recently took your entire quote.
I thought it was from his top 10, where you started off saying you didn't like it.
Was this like a Tumblr post or something?
Yeah.
Oh, then I haven't seen it. I don't know, but
because Papers, Please is the shit.
Like you're asking me where it's from, and I'm like, I have to read to see.
But it was very in depth, so I assume it's either from the podcast or top.
Probably.
Papers, Please is the shit. So in heaven, that sounds cool.
Exactly the same thing.
Is it by Lucas Pope?
No,
so.
It's not. It's
not. Okay, well that's kind of.
I think his new game is very, very different.
It is.
You're a dog.
And so it's just like I don't know. I'm not sold on it because it's just like okay, so it's Papers, Please, but wait, it's in a different place.
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling.
Might be cool. We'll see.
Consider it like if the writing's good that's all it comes down to.
If the writing's good enough,
that's all it comes down to. Because we know what the gameplay is.
Hey, it's like Superman, but this time he fights a big snake.
And another thing too is like, and like the meta narrative of like being a drone fucking worker, border worker is going to be gone, but maybe it'll be funny.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's all the writing. You're totally right.
It should be like rife with sardonic existential angst. And how no one actually gets in.
Mm-hmm. And you should be able to play as Macho Man.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
You can't get in, brother. You can't touch Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, St. Peter's corpse saying.
I think character select is just Macho Man and St. Peter.
Macho Man and,
Yeah, you would de facto play as St. Peter on this
correct.
game.
Yeah, that's like that.
And this is not even games, but it's fucking cool. You've seen the video, maybe, hopefully. Megabots. Robot.
I read the title, but I figured that was
robots
not what I
made with paint fucking guns installed, and you pilot them, and they're making a robot mech fighting league.
That's cool.
And like people have tried these things before, and Japanese companies have tried a couple things, but this one's got like Autodesk money behind it.
Oh, cool! Wow.
So
in the real life,
do they fight it? They just shoot paintballs?
That's exciting.
Well, they showed off the demo of the one mech on its own so far, and like the plan is to have them fight. Okay. To let them fight.
If it was just shoot paintballs.
And then, once they have their own like league going and whatnot, they're going to sell the joints and hard parts of robotics to people so that you can just put together your own thing on a frame.
They go around your
They're BattleTech size. Okay. So like a couple of cars high. A couple of, like, 2-3 cars wide.
But these things are still on wheels, right?
And they're on wheels rolling.
Yeah.
But it's like, you get people the limbs, you get all the hard work.
They can do the rest,
I don't know if you guys know this, but BattleBots and Robot Wars were the goddamn shit.
Yeah. What was that Chris Jericho one?
We talked about that. I forget the name of it.
Oh, it sucked. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Man, remember in Robot Wars, that one that was just a wedge of cheese? And it won so many times.
Well, the ultimate winner,
because it would just fucking flip you upside down.
The champ of like both series was Razor.
The spinning
with
one,
with
right?
The blades on everywhere.
The one that was one giant hook.
Oh,
claw.
the hook that went down.
They made one in BattleBots, and it crushed everyone. And then they made a larger one to compete in Robot Wars, and it was able to defeat like 2 of the house robots in the battle royale. Well, it was absurdly overpowered.
I remember for the longest while when I was watching, maybe different seasons, but the seasons that I was watching, the one that couldn't be touched was it was Robot Wars. It was a fucking spinning, like, almost like pyramid.
Just with saw blades.
And it was just, but it was like a flat pyramid, and it was just like, it just spins so fast that none of your things are going to do anything.
But Razor was a curved, like, claw that ended in a very, very, very sharp point.
And it
used hydraulics. And because it's pushing in at this one tiny point, it would punch through everyone's robot, and like to the point where they had those things where if you got too close to the sides in Robot Wars, the house robots would come out and cause shit. And it turned around and killed Matilda, and then killed the pig one. And then the flame one is shooting it with fire, but its mechanics don't have anything flammable, so it's doing nothing. So it killed its opponent and 2 of the house robot, and that thing was unstoppable. They retired it after the seasons that they were in on BattleBots and Robot Wars because it couldn't be beaten. It was invincible.
I'm trying to imagine, like, if you pile bug but you don't impale anything, does it just go flying back on its own as a maneuver?
Yeah.
You know?
No. I imagine it weighed way too much to do that.
Pile bunkers are actually super dumb because for a pile bunker to work really well, you'd have to
need grounding.
You have to bolt it into whatever you want to pile on.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. I've had a real throbbing urge to watch. Throbbing urge to watch Robot Wars and classic American Gladiators again.
You're right.
Not the Hulk Hogan version that came out a few years ago.
You know what, Matt? Awful. I'm going to say you don't. I'm going to say you just have the urge to hear the sound effects from Robot Wars again. All the little...
Maybe, but I remember very little. So.
There's like a collection of like 15 waves
just a sound
that they would play. Exactly.
And it was all screws being screwed in faster or slower.
And the girls in American Gladiators are super hot, but they're not as hot as the guys.
You're
Turbo?
Right. You're correct.
Saber? Jax?
Well, when we were talking about 80s hot, do you really have a choice?
Oh, no.
So...
Liam's like, what's 80s hot?
Everyone's sweating in Top Gun.
We're all sweating right now. If you want to write in and tell us who your favorite American Gladiator was...
It's Turbo.
You can send that letter to superbestfriendcast@gmail.com.
His name is Turbo.
Remember when he was dating Selma for that time?
I think so.
Yeah.
Once again, that's superbestfriendcast@gmail.com.
It's Turbo. Don't even write in without that. It's done.
Saber's high up there.
He's pretty cool.
All right. So
I don't even remember Turbo, but I remember Turbo being my favorite. Like, how fucking stupid is that?
Wasn't there Iceman? Was Iceman?
No, he's thinking of Top Gun.
No,
he's thinking of Top Gun.
No,
again.
There might be ice.
There was someone with an ice thing.
While you look up that, I'll look up this.
Just look up WMAC Master.
Right.
Shut up.
Okay. Chris wants to know, what games do you wish you were not bad at?
Oh.
I'll take that, and I'll say the Souls games.
Can I say, no, you're alright. You're not bad at Souls games. You're above average. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So pick something else, because you need to be something you're actually bad at. Yeah. I'm bad at FPS now, and it bums me out super bad.
You're bad at puzzle games.
No, I don't care though.
But you're bad though.
Yeah, but I don't.
But he doesn't care.
I don't wish I was
He doesn't
better.
wish to be better.
I wish.
I wish I was better at Dr. Mario.
Like puzzle games or
Puzzle games in general, but I'm good at some, not all. Like
No,
I'm pretty fucking mediocre at Tetris Attack.
Yeah,
but
me too at that.
Tetris,
Matt,
I fucking play.
you're close.
And
I
like,
wish.
Puzzle Bobble, I fucking play.
I wish my
Okay,
brain
yeah.
didn't
You know,
just
like-
totally fail me on adventure games. I can't do. I'm so fucking bad at them, and a bunch of
Pick
them
a,
are super
pick a series. Let's make it more interesting. Pick a
Cool. No,
series.
it's the fucking
I'm
adventure games.
I'm not great at a lot of things, but
What do you care about?
I wish I was better at RTSs. Like when I used to play StarCraft and Warcraft.
All the
a bit,
micro.
I wish
Yeah.
I was really good at that.
I want more macro. That's like
Yeah, I wish I was better at that. And I guess character action, like I'm okay, but like I don't venture in the high difficulties because it gets too.
But you know what it is, dude? It's just time.
no,
Yeah.
Like, if
no,
you just-
it's not.
I agree with that.
I put in a lot of time, and I'm still never going to get anywhere near fucking Shmup God Pat.
Okay, well, no, you're not
I have no
sorry and
interest in being
dash,
in
but
that.
fucking to S rank it. To S rank it, you know, not to fucking impress the world.
But no, I agree with Matt. RTSs. Like,
RTSs?
I used to play Warlords Battlecry all the time, and I could just never overcome a certain part, and that was it. Just can't overcome that,
All right.
that hump.
There we go. We got one from Jerome. He wants to know if you guys had to make an LP.
Wait, was he the guy in The Witcher?
That's correct. If you had to make an LP, that would be only for us to watch.
For us?
Us
Like
four?
Us four.
Wait, what?
What, like, who would be in it and what would it be?
What do you mean?
If you're doing a private LP, like something, if it was an LP that we were going to record and watch or do on our own.
Oh.
And not show the rest of the world?
Yeah.
Is the
That's not
stipulation
an LP, then.
is the stipulation that the people you're making it for have to watch it?
that you would want to watch it.
Well, then I
I
would
want to watch my own?
Something that
No,
we would
we
be,
invite
it
other
would be
sets
something
of
that
us.
like we would all like have to watch, but it would just be we're recording it, but just for us. Like some dumb shit that you would just never show the
This
world.
is just weird.
I don't know. I don't record LPs for people. I record them because I like to do them and they're my
Yeah.
job.
That's true too.
But,
So,
but the question
yeah.
is, if you didn't,
Then I would do the same ones I'm doing
The-
now,
the-
just less people would see them.
The only one I can think of, because I also don't really like watching LPs, is I would watch Darkseid if Pat and Wooly did it.
No. Yeah, but I wouldn't make it for you.
Hey, I'm
No.
enjoying Aria of Sorrow.
Pat
That was-
just said it. Why would you make it?
Wooly
for
said that
us?
the other day, and that was one of the best compliments I've ever received. That was like really great.
That's a good fucking series. It's
I'm
fun.
really
This
happy
is
with
the
it.
oddest question ever.
All right. Well,
I would never make an LP for
Bible
someone
Black.
because my LP
Don't
because my
know.
LPs are terrible and no one should watch them.
That's not true.
All right.
They're pretty
that's
awful.
They're not all going to be gold, even when they're filtered.
My Bloodborne one is terrible.
yeah.
Phil wants to know if you have ever come across or seen any of the locations for Just for Laughs gags in Montreal.
Yeah.
Because they're doing another 15th anniversary, so keep
Yeah,
your
all
eyes-
the time.
Once or twice.
Keep your eyes peeled for some bullshit. Dude, right next to our college,
Yeah.
they were shooting one
Yeah.
when we were there. Like, that shit's around all the time.
Like,
I think anyone...
Montreal is a relatively small city. all
Exactly,
things
yeah.
considered.
I want to say, like, in most Montrealers that live in the central parts of the
Have
island
seen or know
have
someone.
seen some
Like
gags.
if I watched more Just for Laughs gags, I could probably pull out a lot more. But I don't
Yeah.
really like Just for Laughs gags because it's too
It's
weird.
cheap. It's cheap.
Yeah,
Like,
All right.
Some of them are really good, though.
some of them are really good,
It's
but
the- it's
when
the-
you watch the full episode
it's-
for the one or two, it's not.
the
I don't know.
audio mixing.
There was
It
one
is.
that...
There you
Audio-
go, Wooly.
yeah.
That's
Ice. There, it's the girl, Ice. Yeah, I am not crazy.
Ice.
That's a good one. That's not bad.
Looks like she's about to drive her kids to soccer practice.
No,
right.
one of the ones that I saw recently that like I was like,
terrible.
okay,
Recently.
that's pretty funny. Was because I hadn't seen it before.
Oh, on the internet. Okay,
On-
you meant
on
real
YouTube.
life, and I was like, whoa, really?
No, yeah, it was like somewhere up by Saint Laurent. There was like it was like a back street and like a
back.
cop like pulls over a person or whatever and is like talking to them and stuff like a pedestrian, not a car,
Yeah.
you know, and asked them some questions about shit, and then behind the cop like a pink elephant, like a polka dotted elephant walks by. and the person starts freaking out, and the cop's then telling the cop to look, turn around, and the cop's like, whatever the fuck, yeah. And then, like, the elephant goes by, and then, like, later, like, when the cop does turn around, it's, like, just a fat lady with, like, a polka-dotted dress walking by, and, like, people are going, like, no, but... And the cop's like, really, you piece of shit? Like, that's what you're doing? Like, good job. And just the people, like, actually rubbing their eyes, going, like, like...
That is such a cheap gag. It's
silly
so
fucking shenanigans.
No,
because it's just, like, put the person in a super awkward situation.
I'm more interested into, like, hey, you know, you can see the 5 Roses sign in that Jean Lajoie video.
Right.
Yeah. The best when it's super simple, when it's like someone that's looking up. Yeah. And then everyone that walks by looks up too.
You got hit with slime.
Idiot. Enjoy your bio slime.
Well, it's still,
can't do that on
It's still light years behind, like, the fucking European ones, where it's just, like, some topless girl just runs up to you and just shoves her boobs in your face, and you go, oh, and it's like, oh, you're on camera, hey. Europe, you ever see those?
No, I want to be on them.
There's like weird, just all the European ones are all just like a girl's walking by and her shirt blew off. Oh.
Hey, we kidnapped your family that's at home right now. What?
No, like Japanese.
That's the
better taken.
Japanese and South American pranks are the best because there are no rules.
Japanese ones are the best.
The one that I saw, it was some South American country. I don't know what it was because I couldn't understand.
Zombie one.
It was the little girl in the elevator.
Yeah. Girl in the elevator.
That was Korea. Yeah.
You know, that was
no. That was like somewhere
Colombia or Brazil,
Spain or something like that. Yeah,
I remember.
And like one of the guys attacked the girl, and it was like, dude, stop. It's just a prank, man. You know, like that got bad. The fucking train with the zombies was awesome.
You see the one with the corgi with the spider legs?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that thing's great.
That one's
you just hook up a corgi with like 4 extra
giant spider
legs, and you pull cute mask on it, and then you go into these underpasses and wire them up with fake webs, and then just send this adorable little corgi at people, and from a distance it looks scary as shit.
That's good.
That guy's whole channel is just that stuff.
That's great.
I forget his channel name, but
that's fucking money.
Yeah. Dude,
we got a burning question from Cuba.
What?
Beat it.
Hi guys, good job with the podcast. Keep up the good work. First question is: Do you think smartphones as a gaming platform will ever become like legit or great? And like, what do you think it would take to get there? Or are they just going to be meh forever?
It's going to take them being the most popular thing.
They can be great, but they can't be legit.
I have a scenario where they would be legit. Is one, when first of all, a couple generations forward when they're like even better and more powerful, and then they have X input, fucking USB devices pluggable in, and HDMI out.
Yeah.
That's when you're now a legit
But
device.
The control system, I think it destroys the purpose.
But that's what it would take to become legit.
But like, you can already do that.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Can you do both of those things?
You can use your Moga for your Android device and use a micro HDMI out, and you can totally do that these days.
And a library of games supporting that, of course,
doesn't exist.
See, there you go.
But would need to exist.
Like, I don't think smartphones will ever get there because the technology exists, and there are so few games that capitalize on it.
Well, putting a USB slot on your phone is already something that like people don't want.
Well, no, because phones aren't big enough for that.
Yeah,
people don't want that.
Like a USB B slot for like on an iPhone.
A Bluetooth controller is
fucking awesome,
what you're talking.
Here's the issue.
That exists on iPhone
You're
already.
right.
The issue is not the controls. The issue is not the software. It's the market. As long as the market rewards 10 shitty games instead of one good one, it's going to be like this. This kind of curation. Like, think of the PS1. The PS1 was the most popular console, and the PS2 also. By fucking huge margins, so was the Wii. And what did we see on them? Scores of trash.
You even talked about Steam at this point?
Steam, too. Just fucking trash as far as the eye can see.
It's a million times worse on fucking phones.
But because the way that the market and the pricing and the distribution worked, you were incentivized to put out good quality games that sold well.
Yeah.
Whereas on the current ecosystem, it's getting like that with Steam, and it's been like that forever on phones. Just make 10 shitty games.
All you have to do is you have to curate a good 20-minute experience and hope that people buy into that.
It's on Apple and on Google to fix this problem.
Yeah.
and Steam to fix this problem.
Unless first parties step in and do major things like that, which I'm already kind of baffled that Apple hasn't done an internal game studio at this point, because it just seems like a no-brainer. Because I don't think it's ever.
It also comes down to the fact that it'll always be a device where games aren't its primary function.
Yeah, that too. But at the same time, it's like we'll shit on mobile controls all day because buttons on the screen. Fuck off. But not everything has to be action-based.
Ace Attorney, the Ace Attorney 5 on iOS is the one to get.
Apple would sooner make an acquisition than do that,
and that's fine.
But Apple is like Google in the sense that it's just a giant, big. It doesn't operate like other companies do.
I know. But then we saw Amazon try, and it's like, well, they tried.
Yeah. Well, they're the outsiders, right?
And fucking Apple should
any non-action intensive genre can work on a phone because you don't need it, but the focus, there's the business part of shitty games to not shitty games, which is more valuable. Guess what? It's shitty games and gambling games that are not gambling, quote unquote. And the other thing is that the focus has to go from time wasting to game enjoyment.
Yeah, exactly.
Games that are time wasters aren't really good. Games that are made to have fun to play. They're pretty good.
And so you can take a game that's fun to play and you can add a time waster component to it. Like a certain mode of the game that's more suited to a play session or something.
What's the ultimate synthesis of these two? It's ridiculous fishing. Ridiculous fishing.
And that is arguably the best game on mobile.
It's fucking awesome.
Because just like...
I remember speaking to the devs in person and asking them, and they said, yes, our objective was to make the best game on mobile. And they succeeded.
Well, because it's just like I'm sure like if people are gonna like kind of hear what I say with like controller and HDMI out, it's like so you want a phone to just not be.
So you want a phone to not be a phone.
Just not be a phone. Yeah. And it's like, well, yes, but also, like, would you ever sit at your couch and play a time-wasting game?
Remember, literally, the only asset a phone game has is that it's already in your pocket because it's your phone.
That's a huge asset, though.
It's a huge asset.
But, like, more personally, I don't want to play on phones. I'd rather play on my 3DS or Vita. And one of the reasons for that is because the fucking battery just fucking burns a hole through the battery. It's insane.
My phone battery.
You play any game and the battery just dies.
I currently
have fucking Dragon Quest on the first Dragon Quest on my iPhone 6 burns through the battery. It is absurd. Just keeping this screen powered on just heats the phone up and it just dies.
Helps when you don't play with the vibrate button though.
But I mean, I get 2 hours of play. And it's like my Vita lasts fucking a million hours. My 3DS lasts, 10 to 15 hours? I don't know.
When I got my newest phone, I asked the guy, what's the phone with the highest battery rating? He goes, there is none. Yeah. They're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, so I have a fancy new phone, and I'm in a dilemma that I've been in for like 3 weeks now. Where every morning I wake up and says, hey man, for Jelly Kit Kat, whatever, the fucking new OS is ready for my Sony phone.
Android OS, yeah.
And I go, man, that's cool. I should update to that. But I haven't played The World Ends With You yet. So I can't.
Because if you update
Because the instant I update it, it breaks. So that problem has to go away. Yeah. Or at least be somewhat mitigated.
Yes, you need a new phone.
No, a new phone you can't play The World Ends With You.
New phone.
But you don't. You just keep that one at the level it's at.
Oh, and buy a different phone.
Buy a different phone.
And I don't really want to play World Ends With You right now, so I can't update my fucking phone. How stupid is that?
How bad do you want to play PT?
Yeah, exactly.
I played it.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping it.
There you go.
As you should. But
there's
really good games. Like, I'm looking at my phone, I have, Republique and Framed and Implosion.
Of course. And Super
Hexagon. You can play Republique somewhere else, too, now.
I was going to say, Republique plays better with mouse controls. Implosion would play better with a controller.
Super Hexagon's fine. Plague Inc. is fine.
Yeah, Rhythm of Fighters is really good. But at the end of the day, they would all be the same with buttons. And if you want to make any more advanced games, you're almost always better served with a controller or a mouse. In the case of games like Grim and Broken Age, which are now out on mobile, you're better off with a mouse.
Yeah, of course.
I have tons of games on this thing, and a lot of them are really good. You know what my number one used app on my phone is right now?
What's that?
My fucking Authenticator for 14.
And Tyke.
Yeah.
No, it's this.
But you're right. Like something like Super Hexagon or Cannibal comes across as the perfect time waster. Phoenix Wright I think is perfect on mobile because it's just tap anywhere every few seconds.
And at the time Cannibal came out, that was fine.
Pat's playing Super Hexagon right now.
This is the best.
It's quite good.
Well,
Ridiculous Fishing is still better.
The best.
Ridiculous
Which is the
Fishing
best,
better.
Pat? What's the best?
They're both the best.
You see, stop saying the best.
Have you listened to the fucking?
Go watch that Penn and Teller bullshit episode about the best.
No, I've seen that.
In summary, I wish mobile games was a building so I could burn it down.
Yeah.
And let's take one from Jake, who says,
House fan.
Hey guys, I recently started working.
The email starts with
Babu?
I recently started working at local Dunkin' Donuts, and I have to wear a headset to answer drive-thru orders. But every time I go downstairs into the creepy basement to get stuff out of the freezer, the headset starts making piercing static noise, just like in Silent Hill.
Get the fuck out of here! That's
awesome.
the best.
What noise from a video game, if you heard it in real life, would get the biggest freak out of you?
This is not fair because my answer is obvious and is also a real life thing, and it's also from Silent Hill. It's air raid sirens.
Air raid sirens.
Because in the real world, those are terrifying for a very different reason.
Yes, those are great.
So I'm going to try and think of a different one because that's.
If you're walking down the street and you hear now. Fight a new rival. That's not terrible, but you'd go like,
you get alarmed.
Yeah, you get alarmed.
Someone running at you down the street.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Sonic Underwater
The drown.
music.
Yeah, I was thinking the same one. Exactly.
But you're breathing air, like you don't know why you're hearing it. Yeah, no.
Have you ever tried to drown yourself a bit in a tub and just gone like trying to get a bubble into your mouth?
I've not tried to drown myself recently.
Yeah, exactly. The Sonic one was my go-to as well.
Yeah,
for that.
I can't think of anything that's
Air
scary.
raid sirens are fucking terrifying.
Because I don't even have to link them to spooky shit. I just go, oh no, it's happening.
Yeah.
I think it's X4 or later when the warning when a boss comes. When you're getting to a boss area, it's like really,
Well, it can
you mean a klaxon?
No refuge.
Yeah, you're talking about a good klaxon.
The only time an air raid siren is not scary is in a good hip hop song when it's just used to denote the fire. But anyway,
guess that's about it.
All right. Well, that was
thanks hip hop.
Thanks hip hop. That's about it. Wow, the sound of petering out.
You were supposed to say you're welcome.
Just
engines
empty.
Jet Set Radio.
We need more gasoline.
Oh my god, the fucking spit race. Anyway, I was gonna just spoil that part too.
I want to go to Gas Town.
Spit race.
I want a sequel to take place in Bullet Farm.
Bullet Farm.
You'll get it eventually.
What is coming up on the channel / website?
A lot of hella good stuff
Life is Strange
is on the channel right now.
This is the best episode so far, I think.
It's clearly the best
Release
episode.
the crack can.
Release the crack can.
Good to hear that.
I guess Freedom Planet's starting after Life is Strange.
Definitely.
Life is Strange is going to be going straight on till morning. It's going to be Bloodborne and Life is Strange for 4 days straight.
Yeah. And
so it's going to be a challenge.
And because we're fucking anchored and tethered to the calendar, Game of Thrones is coming back.
Yeah,
so
right.
When Freedom Planet's over, I think.
Oh, after Freedom Planet?
I think so.
Okay.
Bloodborne will obviously continue.
Bloodborne will continue.
Well, we have a busy couple weeks of traveling and things, so we've got to make sure.
We're going to Atlanta on Friday.
We're going to be at the MomoCon.
Wait, are you serious? We're going this Friday?
It's this Friday.
Oh, I don't know.
All Friday.
Work.
For those that are interested in going to MomoCon and no friends are going, just as a reissue of the information, a live Let's Watch of I tried to dance around it of Street Fighter the animated series, 2 episodes on Friday.
Which ones? The first 2?
I cherry picked. 2 episodes.
Is it Fight for Nothing material?
1 episode has Fight for Nothing.
Right.
Fight for Nothing
We're
material.
Going on a mission.
I gotta pay attention to the meetings because I didn't even know about this.
The mission.
Matt tried to avoid telling us all. Until me and Wooly sussed it out of them.
You basically sussed his...
Oh, so I was paying attention during the meeting.
Saturday we'll have our autograph session with those prints I talked about earlier.
Yep.
Exclusive.
So people are asking...
World premiere.
Prince is gonna be there?
Prince.
No fingerprints.
Anyway... for those asking, no, those are not going to be available on the merch store for at least a little while. They're exclusive con stuff, and I think eventually, maybe after, some time has passed.
The idea is that we're going to have them with us whenever we go places.
They are really nice.
So
they're fucking cool, man.
Yeah, no, because it's an extra for people that are able to come out. But
it's for the real fans.
Don't do that.
I was trying to avoid
Don't do that.
But that's what you're saying.
Dude, as if some people aren't feeling bad enough tweeting at us going God damn it.
Is Atlanta hot?
I have work or I'm not there.
We should put them up, though, seriously.
Everyone in England fucking hates you, Liam.
Of course.
Everyone in Australia is burning your picture right now.
And Sunday has...
They're fighting off the drop bears and fucking
Sunday we'll have our 2-hour-long panel. I'm sure it'll be a good one.
That's 1 hour, 2 minutes.
I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not sure if you guys saw 100,000 square feet devoted to the gaming section.
That's us?
No. It's to the general gaming section.
What are you, fucking high?
No, we're just sitting in a corner.
Street Fighter 5 is going to be there.
I don't think it will be.
God,
I take it back. If we got that much space and we all sat in each corner of the room
with a gauntlet to each one of us
and just yelled.
25,000 square feet per each of us.
Yeah. We'd have to yell to get our panels done.
Who's high now?
What's that in meters?
A lot.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like 3.4 feet to the meter. So divide it by 3.4.
You should know the king's feet, Pat. Come on.
It should be a
fuck the king's foot, man.
Exactly.
100 stone.
Even the Brits don't use that shit anymore, and it was their king and his foot.
It should prove to
Your
be
king.
a crotch-grabbingly.
Don't you start that loyalist shit on this podcast.
I'm just saying the ground you stand on.
Governor General can kiss my ass.
There you go.
Take that, Queenie.
Burn all your money. See you in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Liam will eat peaches.
We'll probably all eat a peach at some point, and then everyone will be like, "Why are you eating peaches at MomoCon?" I'll be like, "Isn't that?"
How long though? How long are we gonna eat the peaches for?
I thought
I could eat for hours.
There you go.
Otaku King, similar to Cooper, still be killing tracks like I'm Super Mario jumping Goombas. Don't play for Oklahoma, but I get that money sooner than these haters. I'm the greatest, that's why they spread Twitter rumors. Go in on every single word that I spit. Fly like I'm in a Tanuki suit, bitch. Similar to syphilis, my flow is so sick. It will rare like a golden chocobo mix. I'm in the zone like Green Hill, throwing shots like I'm Bullet Bill. I'm pretty chill, similar to Sub-Zero, but I gotta kill each and every track till I get a deal. And that's real. Till then, I'ma shit on every mainstream lane. You'll be the first nerd MC to maintain a Jay-Z level of fortune and fame. Flow hotter than a fireball from Luke Kane. Won't stop till I make it to the top. When I drop, everybody know what brother name. I remain on a unique train of thought. Never take a loss, I'm a boss like Mother Brain. Richie Branson, welcome to Otaku Castle. Your glorious kingdom has now become an empire. No competition, all these rappers suck like Kirby. Richie kill 'em all.